we've gone.
Just let him know.
You
Go.
Good evening and welcome to tonight's episode of Eat, Crit and Survive, where a bunch of guys gather in a garage to play Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight we are short one Jared, who is looking after his kids and wife. Oh, maybe in that order? I don't know. Matt may join us later.
Oh,
really?
It depends on how he finishes work and how he feels. So he may join us at like sort of the interval. Who knows?
fantastic.
So a couple
Can't
of
wait to happy that. Did I miss anything? George is dead.
I've just
Pops is
been-
dead.
I've just been enjoying a
Opsy.
wonderful
Yeah,
stroll.
Opt has appeared and
Oh,
died.
yeah.
Previous campaign.
Killed a god.
So a couple of quick things that we want to discuss
Kill
before we get going. First of all, if you want to listen to previous adventures, we have the podcast up and going. That's available if you look on our Twitter feed at Eat Crit Survive, and follow that. You can listen to all the adventures up through episode 1 to near-ish now. Yes,
If you
Ross.
type ! Podcast into the Twitch chat, it will also give you a link to the
Hey!
thing. So.
Yeah, and the YouTube of last week's episode is now live.
I believe
I've
so.
been told.
Yeah.
No one's checked it,
It's
but we
there.
think it should be there.
If it's not, tell us, and I will make it
I
live.
think I've got
Make it
left.
so.
I didn't either, but I don't know.
We'll check
We'll search
that.
that. We'll sort that out in the break.
Or
We'll
you
see
could
if
be
it's up
watching
there.
here on Twitch.
Or you can watch it here on Twitch for like 5 more days, I think.
Yes.
So if you want to get really confused about this episode, you can watch it and then watch last week's afterwards. Or do it the right way round. In which case, bye. We'll see you in a bit.
No, watch us live. What are you doing?
Oh yeah, stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Don't go.
Stop sending our one fan away.
But one of the other things that we try and do with this show is to pay forward support, kindness, and excitement about the RPG community. That's why we give shout-outs to things like Healthwatch Props, at Healthwatch Props, who are...
I'm not allowed to do it anymore.
No, you are not.
I've been banned.
Who are helping us get off the ground with the stream and sharing that message, and also our marathon one-shot for Cynthia Spencer Hospice, which is also now on our YouTube channel.
No one wearing the
T-shirts.
We've only
t-shirts.
just been
That,
given them.
that would have been perfect.
I know, right?
If someone
After
was
the
wearing
interval.
After the interval.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, yeah.
There you go.
All coming in a stage change.
So this week we're going to give some support to another person who has been I've been talking to over the internet on Twitter, a lady called Francita Soto, who has had a bit of a tough time personally, but has some pretty cool stuff that she can share with you guys. Francita. Two of her main things are her custom Twitch overlays, which can be adjusted for your streaming needs, and a redesign of the 2nd edition Pathfinder sheet, which, if anyone has seen it, it's kind of cool. It's interesting to see how that changes from the original. I quite like it. So if you want to check her out, get in touch with her. Her Twitter is @byfrancita, or you can drop her an email at byfrancita@gmail.com and say hi, give us some love. Okay, so with that, as the sirens sound,
They're coming to West George.
They are.
yeah,
Pretty much.
we'll kick off tonight's episode. So, where you guys last left off, we had been travelling through Jorvik and had been spending a little bit of time in Alfheim, where the kingdom of the elves was situated. After making your way back from the Shadowfell with a somewhat dangerous adventure, you have had some time to wander around the city of Vidblan, the capital city, and find out some various things going on. Did a bit of shopping. Before you found out that the king had been poisoned, and so had all of you, thanks to Cedric magic. Having found out that you were all poisoned, yes.
To be clear, we found out thanks to Cedric magic. We weren't poisoned thanks to Cedric magic.
No,
Or
both.
were we?
yes.
That's the sort of the second hidden bit of the detect poison
Detect and
disease.
apply
You have to
poison.
give poison and disease first for it to work. So
That's why everyone is poisoned.
yeah. So you
That
then,
makes sense.
after curing the poison in some of you and being attacked by assassins and curing the poison in others, you decided to go on a hunt to try and find the one remaining assassin who had remained after commissioning some armor, buying some weaponry.
It was really easy to find him as well.
It
I
was-
can't
It was
believe he didn't hide.
super easy to find him.
It was like a competition.
Yeah,
Barely an increase.
but what could have helped him, we'll never know, is if he would sacrifice a donkey called Wilfred.
I suppose no one's just hanging on to the assassin in case you need to sacrifice in the future.
Well, Having taken the assassin back in a very dickish and blasé way in the way that he was reacting to the questions by the king, he told his truth that he had been told, and that he knew that the person who had ordered the hit was George Rawmaster of Elendor. Described him to a T,
Shock, horror.
and thereby made George an enemy of the crown, to be arrested.
It's alright,
And
mate.
tried.
I've been there before.
That's one way to be famous.
So,
Doesn't end well.
we left the party at sort of the evening time, with Lyra silently screaming into some trees and Asher sobbing in a clock tower, with Kelatar standing underneath, silently, just in the moonlight.
Well, I'm sure it was a real meaningful gesture, but now when you say it backwards, it just seems weird.
I'd say usually it's a Kelatar on top making noise.
Kelatar's flexible.
He will be if he ever touches me.
So,
I will break him.
we jump back a few hours to George. You had spent most of the afternoon wandering around with Dareth, learning little tidbits about the culture and the etiquette of the court, someone who's able to pass as a servant within the castle. You were just stopped for something to eat when Dareth stops suddenly, his face darkening. It seems that your allies are attacked, and they found someone that looked like an assassination order with your family's crest on it. Just as well you're in disguise. Spent enough time with you to know that you're not as arrogant as to order a hit and then go to dinner with the target.
That would be rather foolhardy.
Aye. Let's see what your colleagues discover, and we should begin our preparations to get you out of Vidblan just in case.
It seems like a good idea.
He leads you back to his safe house to grab your regular things.
I didn't have many of them. I left most of them with the party.
Oh, that's right. You left most of your weaponry with them, didn't you? No,
Yeah.
you took your spear with you, didn't you?
No, I took the fancy dagger and
That's
a normal
right.
one.
That's right.
But all the other stuff I left with the party.
Right. That's handy then.
Including your armour?
Yeah. Servants don't go wandering around wearing armour.
True.
Especially that sort of
Yeah, that's pretty cool armor. Dareth says, do you have an alternative disguise to get us through the city?
Not on me, but I don't know why I'm still putting on the field persona. Sorry, I just got into the swing of it. I do not have another disguise on me, but if you have more disguise materials, I can change my appearance yet again.
Not.
Adopt another identity. It is getting a little confusing keeping track of them all.
Oh, not to worry. We can sort you out something. You lead you back to the safe house. He does give you... There is a full range of general... Not to say peasant clothes, but more common clothes for the people. This is still a wealthy city, but there are clothes for lower people in the ability, the sort of the common folk that give you. So make a. We already shaved your mustache off, which helps. So,
What?
Yeah,
you did it last.
Commitment.
You
I
did
was
it.
being a half elf.
Yeah, half elves don't really grow facial hair. Roll for me a. So this is intelligence with your proficiency modifier for your disguise kit.
Oh god, intelligence. My one weakness.
Yep.
First roll with my new dice, and it's a natural 1.
So you start putting this on, but you're not entirely certain with the elven fashion how it goes on. You end up putting the shirt on backwards. You think, oh yeah, it goes on this way. You're not entirely certain before Dareth just goes, oh, that's a corset. Well, you can go for that if you want.
Certainly nothing someone would be expecting me to be wearing.
No. Fine. I helped you lace up the corset really awkwardly.
Oh yes, I'm dragging it up now.
This is going to be such an awkward encounter.
They make
when we
sure that-
finally find you.
What between the two of you, you make sure you get a really close shave so that there's absolutely no stubble shaking through. The hair is sort of tied back into a ponytail and sort of looped around into a bun at the back. He hands you a sort of black veil and says, it's appropriate that the city's still mourning, so hide your face a little bit. You got hips like a female, if you don't mind me saying.
I do.
Why, thank you. This is One of the stranger compliments I've received, but gratefully accepted.
Yeah. I'll escort you around. This would be alright.
I offer my arm.
Begrudgingly takes it. He has also changed, so he looks a little bit more
He's
smart.
also in full drag.
He's not in drag. He's a little bit thicker in the shoulders, so it is a little bit trickier for him to pull it off.
Basically, sugar daddy now.
Kind of. He is a lot older than you. But as you leave the house, you start hearing people muttering.
Where are you planning to take me?
He shushes you and he's just listening. You don't understand Elven, do you?
No, I don't.
No, okay, never mind. You don't hear that.
Well, I hear people whispering, but I don't know what they're...
You hear whispering, but you don't hear what's going on. Dareth relaxes a little bit. We should be fine. Hopefully the truth will out. We'll go vaguely near the docks, and if we need to escape, there's a tunnel that gets you outside the city into the forest.
That is good to know.
As there's a man with dice just sort of rolling it in the street, just as a game of chance. You walk past and he sort of tries to tempt you in, a sentence in Elvish. You don't understand. Dareth ignores and walks off.
Can I make a sachet check to see how sexy my walk is?
Make a performance check.
Yeah,
That's
you're
still
pulling it off.
That's still a 14.
14, okay. You're not quite certain that you try it on your own for a little bit, and then you start watching, as George often does, women wandering around, just getting the sway of the hips in the bodice and working out how to best do it on the cobblestone. It's a little bit awkward, but it's okay. It's not bad. Your average height, it's okay. You're tall for a woman, but, you know, yeah, it'll do. Same height as Asher.
No, I'm much shorter than Asher.
I'm totally
I'm only 5'9".
like 6 foot.
Are you? Oh, okay. I thought you were 5'9" as well.
No.
I know you're tall, as is Skeletor, and you're Cedric.
I am Cedric.
But you make your way through, just sort of walking around, sashaying a little bit, trying not to draw too much attention to yourself. But eventually you sort of catch a horse and rider just sort of coming along. They stop in the middle of the square, handing a small scroll to an elf with a sort of green tabard, sort of there knocking around, waiting, takes it, starts reading. The rider disappears off. The elf begins to call out, "Assassin captured and executed by the king. Additional suspect to be apprehended in relation to a murder. Suspect is a human, George Ormaster, known to wield a spear, extremely dangerous. Any information is to be brought to the Bright Watch. Assassin captured and executed by the king." And he just starts repeating this, and you sort of, after a couple of sentences, he switches to a different language, and looks like he's repeating the same thing again, and then switches to another language, and sort of says, they are very multicultural, this city. To which Dareth goes, "Shit. I need to get you out."
We should be fine. They are looking for George, not Selena.
Be that as it may, me lady, probably best to get you out. I'll make sure there's a message sent to your friends. Come on. And you sort of turn and start walking towards the docks. A little bit more haste than previously.
Horse? Yeah, looks like one.
Such an amazing disguise you've turned to a centaur.
As he leads you down past, round to the side of one of the docks, there's a little stairway that leads down to a grated tunnel. So if you go through here, eventually you'll take a right, take a left, take another right, and then you'll go up. You'll appear in a tree. You open the tree, you get out, you're in the forest. Make your way to the Gebu Tavern. Wait for your allies there. I'll send them a letter. Is there a language that you share with any of the others? It's unlikely to be known here.
Well, I know Orcish and so does Kalatar. That may be less likely to be known.
Does. Aye. Right. I know it as well, so I'll... He quickly writes a letter. Good luck to you, my lady.
Why, thank you, sir.
Looks around shiftily, just making sure that no one's watching. Lifts up the hatch,
Down I go.
and down the hatch. You head off.
Brutally
And disappear
I
straight to your ambush.
dropped my sachet once I'm in the tunnel.
Yeah. Where? Okay, you come to the tunnel, you turn right, left, and then right. And eventually there's a ladder that leads you up. And as you sort of poke your head out, you do smell a piney scent. And you sort of feel around. Make an investigation check, actually.
Good job I did keep my medallion, because that was something I could wear inconspicuous.
Mm-hmm.
How long did the walk take?
You don't know, you weren't there.
Just curious about how long of time.
Took you
It's going to be one of those days.
it took you about 4 hours to get along this tunnel.
That's a 7. Let the row of failure.
Row of failure. It's getting
May
better.
I borrow one?
So-
I'm intrigued.
Having taken about 4 hours to walk up and out, and out inside this tree.
Give them to Luke, they're rolling badly.
I know, right? You look around. It takes you a good half an hour to find the pressure point that you get to push open the door inside a tree. It's a very confined space. You're not quite sure how to get around, but you eventually push it open and pull yourself out, and you are in the forest.
Does there seem to be a path?
Make a perception check.
We're just going to keep making me roll, because
Ah, 'cause it's funny.
failures.
How well, Connor?
19, 18, 15.
Oh, that's better. That's better. I rolled a 6.
6,
So
which
that's
is
an 11.
11.
Perception. That's my best roll of the day.
okay. You look
It's not
around.
the dice.
You can't really navigate using the sun because the sun is omnipresent here. But you do sort of make your way through the trees. You do find where there's a little bit of a clearing that does look to be a path that's come on. It doesn't appear to be the same one that you guys first arrived into the city in,
Yeah.
but it looks like it may be a branch of. You've got enough sense of direction to know that if you turn right, you're going to go back towards the city. If you turn left, you're going to lead back towards the central crossroad where the Gebu Tavern is.
Yeah, so that way.
Yeah, you head off and make your way down. Are you still in your disguise?
I don't have anything else with me, I don't.
No, that's true, you don't. So, you make your way to the Gebu Tavern where you are met by back to the same bar with the cleverly interwoven trees growing out towards the separate pods with the green cross against the white background. Run by the 3 elven stepbrothers who take no payment of coin unless you choose to give it to them. They just prefer to hear interesting things. Yeah, been there before. But that takes you the rest of the day to get there. You actually get there pretty late at night.
But luckily, I have something interesting to tell them.
Yeah.
The news of the assassin being captured.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It buys you 3 days worth of. Actually, make a performance check just for the hell of it. We'll see if how much of a discount this gets you on things.
It is me, isn't it?
Yeah, it is you.
That's a 15.
15. Okay, you managed to get.
Oh, buddy.
Excuse me. You managed to get 3 days room and board, and your own little pod to rest in. You have to make sure that you keep shaving really closely each day, but you do rest up.
I'm glad I brought a normal dagger as well as the poisonous one.
Ah. Do you have the poison dagger? I thought you had the
Whatever.
the line
The
tooth.
bloody line tooth one, yeah.
Mhm.
That's the one, sorry.
Yeah, that one's a bit tricky to shave with, but they do have a.
I have a normal one as
Yeah,
well.
you're going to get the sense that they're used to seeing people in drag, so they don't really care about it that much.
Elven drag popular.
Yeah.
Counter.
Drag in Jorvik is generally quite popular.
Just a dragon.
He definitely. Dragons in your liquor.
Dragons in Jorvik. You don't know. The rest of you have spent your evening doing your various bits and pieces. Asher, you're still up in the clock tower. You're still out in the small grove of trees screaming. Cedric, what are you doing?
I am warning people of the dangers of the poison.
Okay.
I've been non-stop harassing people
You have.
and helping them, but mostly trying to help.
Okay.
And
Make a
and trying to sort
charisma
out.
check.
14.
14. Okay. You do wander around. You don't find many more people who are poisoned. It seems to be mostly the kitchen and the wait staff
Okay.
that seem to be affected, and sort of the main ones that do tend to congregate in the kitchen quite a lot. Seemingly, there was only those 2 guards that were affected, and from talking to people, it's because the younger of the 2 had started the courtship with one of the women in the kitchens, and had given him some pastries to take with him on shift.
She poisoned him.
He accidentally poisoned him. Apparently, he'd shared those with his friends. So,
It's a good friend, really.
yeah,
Nice
friends
guy.
don't let you die alone.
We'll do this together.
Share
Here,
poison.
have a cream horn.
Liquid death.
Speaking of sharing with friends, should we be able to see ourselves on the computer? There was something gone wrong.
No,
Okay.
He's just done.
He's got his character
I've
sheet
got my
up,
character sheet
Oh,
up.
right. Okay.
as he was asked to make a roll, and he didn't suck.
Yes. Some people manage not to suck. Not many,
No.
but some people.
The only other thing really Cedric's doing is just, I guess, not in a like very dramatic way, but just trying to wrap his head around the events of the day, and is trying to suss out whether Georges could have actually done something like this.
Okay.
He's not particularly convinced, but he's not foolish enough to just rule out every option. So he's just basically he's just not really meditating. That's probably too strong of a word.
Yeah,
but he's just
contemplating.
yes, about stuff.
As he wanders around,
Yeah.
telling people they're going to die.
Yes,
That sounds like a
Of
Cedric
course.
thing
But
to
of
do.
course.
Okay, you managed to oversee the removal of poison from a few
Good.
people. You might be able to confirm that they
That's
do fetch a
not
couple of
obvious.
paladins that come and cure people, and you sort of say this is, this is the process that you need to neutralise the poison. Yeah, that's the other method. You throw an axe at them, just as you did Asher only yesterday. But only earlier this morning you threw an
Yes,
axe at
only.
Asher.
I thought it was the thing we were all doing.
Asher, Lyra, either of you doing anything?
I'm doing it.
Just standing in the tower?
I'm not screaming. I'm thinking.
Okay.
Racking my brain, remembering things, and actually becoming less and less sure of George's innocence.
Okay.
If anything, the polar opposite.
Yeah, fair enough. How long do you stay up there for?
I may sleep up there.
Okay.
I might.
Assassin's
chance up
not
there.
gonna find me up here. I hope.
They might find me where I am.
One
That's
sitting
where
on the
they
fence.
attacked.
That's where they came from, yeah.
So, but yeah.
Okay.
I'll just stay up there.
Okay, you stay there, you go into your trance. You eventually fall asleep leaning against the tower.
Do we say we've had our long rest?
You have had a long rest now.
Whoopee!
As you come to consciousness, Asher, first of all, it is quite cold when you wake up. There is sort of frost glistening across your forearms. Same for you, Lyra, actually. You've got slightly warmer clothing because you're expecting to sort of hang out here for most of the night, but there's a bit of frost that has settled on your cloak. You've got a cloak over you. You did not bring one with you.
Concern.
Make an intelligence check.
I was snuck up on in the night. Intelligence. 19.
19. You recognise this as Kalatar's.
It's the curse removal cloak.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe for your
You just put it there to keep you warm, seemingly.
What gen? Is there any of my stuff missing?
Make an investigation check.
What waste? Natural 20.
All of it. No. Nothing is missing.
I'm sucking at all the bad rolls. Anyone else can roll that?
Shatterfang has been put next to you so that you didn't fall asleep on it. But it is within arm's reach.
Should probably go and find the rest.
Go find what, sorry? Find the rest. Okay. As you sort of come down from the clock tower, you bump into Kalatar, who's sort of coming down. He's reading a piece of paper. Right, Asher.
Morning. Believe this belongs to you.
Thanks. Takes the cloak. I've got a letter that we might need to discuss somewhere else. It might be advisable for us to go to our home that the king set up for us. Somewhere to go and relax. Sort of get away from it all, you know.
Okay, but we're gonna get the others as well.
Oh, yes, I didn't mean just you.
Yeah.
I mean-
yeah.
No,
Let's go find Lyra.
There is still in a tree.
Lovers
Yeah.
in the air.
No, it's not. Tension. We're just like.
Can't have an orchard with just two
sword is
people.
in the air.
Oh god! Don't make me kill Keltar.
You find Lyra and Cedric. Cedric has been eating food that is
Poison.
no.
Oh nom 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 heal. Oh
yeah.
nom.
I assumed you prepared purified food and drink.
Yes, in fact, I was just
About to change your
Preparing it now.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have at least spent a bit of time.
I already had it prepared. So
Oh, there you
I
go.
will- yeah.
You have spent a little bit of time cleansing some of the food so that people could eat.
Yes.
Sort of helping out in the kitchen that way. The tongueless chef is quite merrily carrying on and eating, helping you prepare the meal and everything else. Seems to be grateful of you not letting it be poisoned.
I try my best.
You find Lyra in a tree.
Keltar seems to think that we need to go to our home so we can relax.
Home?
Yeah.
The home that Duranellis got for us as a reward.
Has that already happened? I thought that was going to happen.
Well, he said it would take a couple of days,
Oh, right. Well,
so it should be ready.
we'd probably better check with him that it's alright too.
Aye, but I would think it'd be a good idea.
Sounds lovely.
He tucks away the letter into his pocket. And you head back. You find Cedric, who wanders in to the dining area with a plate of food.
Hello. Would you like some food?
Is it poisoned?
Yes.
Deception check.
Okay,
18.
11.
How much, Cedric?
18.
22.
Yeah, you know he's bullshitting. It's poisoned.
Oh, not eating it now. Ruined it.
I'll have some.
You fool.
Okay, but it's poisoned though.
Yeah?
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe you just poisoned Lyra, Cedric.
she ate it, not me.
You offered it.
Anyway,
Maybe we should.
I'm gonna go eat the poisoned food now. I am immune to it.
Is it because of the mushrooms?
Yes. Yes, it's because of the mushrooms.
That makes perfect sense. And if that's not a thing, I don't understand why it isn't.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's true.
I eat the food. Some food. I don't even know what I mean.
Got
What I
it.
eat.
There is some sort of
A
like
whole
fruit.
chicken.
There are some fruits, like fruit custard pies
Yeah.
that you can eat. There's also the fruit tarts. And you're just quite happy eating them.
Okay, well, we're gonna go and see the king now. Bye.
Oh, okay.
Duranus has actually joined you in there. He's sort of wandered down.
Don't eat the
Sorry, what?
The tarts are poisoned.
Are they?
They're not.
Cedric said they were.
He was lying.
I did my best. I am practicing.
You're getting very good, Cedric.
I just know you too well.
Probably best not to lie
No,
about
like-
something like that, though.
It's a little bit in poor taste at the moment, I'll be honest.
Okay, that's fair. You weren't in the room when I was making the
I wasn't,
thing,
no.
So sorry about that.
That's fine.
Can't
Asher
really
shouldn't
say,
have brought it up.
couldn't really say in poor taste. We're in the kitchen, right?
Dining room.
Ah, good. I was thinking about the chef with no tongue.
Good morning, Your Majesty.
Oh, yeah.
He nods to you, acknowledging the formality that you have put into it. What do you intend to do with yourselves today?
Hopefully, not die, and definitely steer clear of your investigation.
That seems like a good idea. Any particular plans of where you wish to go?
I think we're going to the new home. Go and settle in somewhere.
Oh, in Andlang.
Near Andlang.
Yes, that'd be an excellent idea. I think it would be sensible for you to get out of the way for a short while at least.
But, if you find George, do come find us and let us know.
I will send you a message. Looks at Lyra.
Is there anything we should know before we go to the house? Do we need to take anything with us?
You don't need to take anything with you, but if you're going there, you will need to speak to Ollis Pineweaver. It's one of the chief carpenters and house builders out there. She has the key for you.
Is she in Andlang?
Yes, she will be.
Very well.
When do you intend to depart?
I think we're heading off
Do
right
breakfast.
Once we've collected our belongings and finished our breakfast.
Well, not. It's been a pleasure having you here. It won't be too long. Well,
In some ways, it's been very pleasant being here.
yes, I know. I'm sorry.
So am I.
Nods and turns to walk away.
Ross, question.
Yes.
Do we have George's stuff with us?
One
Yeah,
of you
went
does.
Went
In
to
the
one of
bag.
the bags of holding.
Okay, just checking that we
can't
don't just
remember
walk
one.
away.
I think it went in Kafina's bag.
Okay.
You can carry more
Sorry,
stuff.
Before you go, Dronis, if we need to contact you, is there a way we can do that?
There are people within Andlang that can send messages via birds.
Right, thank you.
Be safe.
If it's very urgent, can we ask Kavina to send you a message?
She may, if she's able. Just looks at Kafina. Don't blow anyone up. He leaves. And Kavina goes, "One time, okay? I haven't done it. Okay, it's a few times, but I didn't blow anyone up whilst I was trying to send a message. It was just that one guy, and all of you. I
You've
could have.
been fine recently. No,
Yeah.
I mean, there was that thing while we were in... No, never mind.
Just eats one of the pies.
I mean, she cast blur on herself instead of something else.
Yeah.
It's really not.
It didn't help. Alright,
Adlang it is.
you gather your things. And you set off, done the party. I assume you send a message to the dwarf to let him know that you're going to Dwellin, to let him know that you're going to pick up the armor next time you're back in.
Mm-hmm.
Send her a message. You head off. Yes.
I was trying to remember something, but it's not important just now.
Okay. You head off and spend the day's worth travelling towards the Gebu Tavern in the centre of the crossroads, where you know you'll need to spend a night's rest before you carry on to Andlang. Is there anything that you wish to discuss whilst you're doing this, or should we carry on?
Does anyone in here actually think that George did it?
Something came to my mind overnight. When we found out what cured the poison, as soon as Dronis was cured, the very next thing that happened was George asked if he could be next to be healed. That moment, and thinking back, I have to wonder why. It just fits with the idea that if he had ordered the poisoning and then through some mistake been one of the people poisoned. I don't want to believe it, but that sticks out for me.
What does he gain by poisoning the king, though?
I don't know, but it occurs to me I don't actually know that much about George.
That's fair.
I haven't asked, and maybe I should have done.
Kavina to say, yeah, and we were on the run from Elendor because he supposedly killed the lords with the same poison. I mean, do we think that's suspicious?
It does seem awfully suspicious that the same poison would show up twice.
But then he would know that. We know that.
It's also suspicious that because it's a poison that's hard to come by here, because we know the ingredients aren't grown here. It also that original poisoning seems very unlikely to be George, because if he had done the poisoning, he wouldn't then have put himself in a position where he'd be the one to cause the death as well.
I mean, to be fair, it sounded like he didn't really have a choice. He was challenged by the Lord because he was screwing his Dara.
What did the letter say?
I didn't tell you there was a letter.
Oh. I thought that's
Can
why
you
we
read
were
minds? That is why we're going, yes, but I didn't tell you.
going. Yes.
He looks around.
I noticed the bulge in your jacket where the letter is held.
Put it in my trousers, Cedric.
Oh,
Looking at the right bulge.
yes.
Well, the letter said, Kelotar, my cousin has informed me of his decision regarding our mutual friend. He assures me it was for the court's benefit, and he does not believe for one moment that what is being said is true. But until we have found out who the real culprit is, it's not safe for our friend to be here. I am undertaking an investigation of my own, but to provide us with the safest course of action, I would suggest you all depart Alfheim for a while. If there is good reason for you to be elsewhere, I can begin our investigation and hopefully draw out any pretenders. The choice is of course yours and your allies, but if you choose to go, I can send for you. If not, perhaps we can meet to discuss future options. I believe your new home is ready. Do not read this letter out loud in this city. We do not know who is listening. D. I assume that was Daereth.
He wants us to leave Alfheim completely.
Well, he said that, but he also said we could go to our new home. He may have meant Vidblan and not known how to spell it in Orc.
There's that. I mean, we do also need to go to Vanaheim, don't we? So, well, we've got options. It does sound like whenever that was written, at least Dremlis didn't think that George was really responsible.
It was delivered to me in the middle of the night, so I don't know when it was written.
Have to find out.
We can at least talk to Georges and see what he has to say for himself.
Can we? We have no idea where he is.
We can find him.
I'll say 3 of you make intelligence checks.
There's
Three of us here. Let's just do
Yeah.
that.
That's what I said, the 3 of you.
Oh, sorry. I said 3 of you.
The cult.
Cocked it twice, rolling it into my other dice. And there was both between 11 and something else.
7.
7? 12.
5.
Asher, you kind of get the sense the fact that he has specifically mentioned your house suggests that he may have sent George there. Or at least in that direction.
Okay. I mean, we should probably get going anyway.
Can't we have Kafina just send a message to him?
I have
I
a
mean-
strong feeling that he's where we're going anyway.
I mean, I could.
Maybe not while we're walking along. Should we wait till we get to the inn?
Okay.
All right.
It's only about half a day's journey to the inn, isn't it? Or is it a full day?
It's nearer to a full day worth of travel.
Depends how full passport control is.
Yeah. There's more going in. It's more going in. They're not too fussed about letting you out.
I see.
Mostly because of the big barrier that stops you coming back in. So, you have to be really sure you want to leave. But you head off. Make your way to the Gateway Tavern. So, if there's anything you want to accomplish on the journey, say now. Or George, anything you want to do whilst you're sat in the tavern, in your room.
Yeah, I'm just sort of. I guess I'm just trying to figure out who could have seen me and who might be trying to impersonate me for their own ends.
Okay. We'll sit and think. Make an intelligence check.
Let's fail another roll.
It's getting better.
Yeah, that's a whole 9.
9. Can't think of anyone here. Alright. Make your way to the Gebu Tavern. As not the sun going low, but you start to feel that little wariness coming over you as the end of the day's travel. You get into the tavern. There is the 3 elves there. The wood elf with black hair, green eyes, and cloak-filled skill. Cullis. Adel, the sea elf with the sandy blonde hair, piercing blue eyes, and slight blue tint to his skin. And Janelle, the high elf with the red hair and much fairer skin. 3 of them sort of bustling around, and Janelle is behind the bar at this time. As he sees you come in, says, I recognise you guys. It's been a while. You here for a night?
Just the one, I assume.
Yes, please. We're on our way south. South? I think so.
What, are you heading to Anlang?
Yes.
In the south, yes. No problem. How are you intending to...
Oh. Well, we have some stories.
We do love a story.
I mean, there's always the tale, the epic of the tunneling badger.
He leans forward. Do tell.
Something gone sexual.
Did it?
He likes the
Did
sound,
it?
He likes the sound of a tunneling badger.
Do tell.
The Shadowfell is a dark and dangerous place, filled with creatures of ill intent. In one such place, the hordes of the undead surrounded a village,
Takes a quill and just starts writing this down.
and the people within had no way of getting out, and their protections were swiftly diminishing. And then a wise and powerful and so discerning and sensible adventurer hit upon the ideal exit strategy. He would transform himself into a magnificent badger, and from within the cover of a hut, tunneled swift enough and strong enough to bypass all the undead filth snapping at their heels. Damn it.
You knew it was coming. You just had to hold it off.
Effect. It's fine.
And so, the whole village was destroyed, and yet it lived on as every single inhabitant survived the encroachment of evil.
Make a performance check with advantage. I was half expecting Cedric to at some point just go, "That sounds like me." Halfway through.
I did want to interrupt, but Cedric the whole way through was just like,
Unnatural 20.
gasping at the right moments.
Let me just check. I can't remember what my charisma is. Yeah.
Low.
Unnatural 20. It's
Okay.
a +1.
Okay. He nods and smiles and writes a story. You can see he's written it in Elvish upside down, but you can still just about read it. He's essentially what he's done is he's transcribed it into a poem format. He's drawing, and he just in the corner, instead of the at the beginning of the first word, where they usually do the big flowery text, he's got a badger wrapped around the first letter. Which is quite impressive, drawing it in ink with a quill. It's very impressive.
At dictation speed.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
That's a good story. That'll cover you for the night, yeah. I like that.
Just me or the
No, all of you's fine. I wouldn't mind another tale for dinner. Sing for your supper, so to speak.
I seem to have lost my voice somewhat. So
That's
I'll let
alright,
one
here.
of
He
my-
slides you a glass of water.
Thank you. I'll let one of my.
Asher, why don't you tell us
Don't you do it.
Go on, Asher. You know the stories.
I know the story.
It was basically whoever spoke up first.
I was
got
like,
hitting it
nah.
straight at you.
Staring at you thinking, don't do it. Don't do it and I won't do it. Well, actually, I was thinking more of Kelatar was going to write that song. The one we discussed
yes.
in the boat. And he's had about a month now.
You turn around, and he is busy chatting up the nearest
Gone.
woman.
I don't really have anything to say at the moment.
Is the nearest woman Selena by any chance?
Nope. It would have been funny if it was, but I rolled high enough for me to not see you.
Am I there?
No, you're in your room.
Okay.
I was gonna say, good God. Maybe another time.
Very well. Would you like something to eat?
Yes.
Yes,
so
please.
You can pay in a more conventional method.
No, we do accept it. We just like stories.
Who doesn't?
Well, you see Kelatar sort of walking away sheepishly from the elf that he's been talking to. He's like,
How much for food, Phil?
for the
night?
5 of you, we'll say 3 gold.
I'll take it out of the prize fund.
Okay. So, you are given access to your various rooms. George, make a perception check for me.
Going through all my dice till I find a good one.
Could be here for some time.
Not that one.
That's the 13.
13, okay. You don't hear anything out of the ordinary, just sort of branches cracking, birds, occasional squirrel. So the rest of you take your night's rest. Up in the morning, time for breakfast. Which is a sort of porridge that's provided for you, which is quite refreshing, and given how cold it is in this time of year. Gradually getting colder as the year wears on. With fruit and honey just available for each of you. You do see the party now when you've come down for breakfast.
I'm going to have my breakfast as normal, but keep an eye on them. I don't want them setting off without me.
Okay. I mean, with Cedric's passive perception, he probably notices you keeping an eye. You just see this. What race did you make yourself? Human or elven?
Probably stuck with half elf,
Okay.
because that seems to be sort of fairly common.
It's not that common, not here, not in
It's
Alfheim.
more common than human.
It's more common than
That's
human,
one
certainly.
half elf over there.
I just rolled a 24 on a perception roll.
You notice the woman.
She does seem to be paying us an undue amount of attention.
Shall we invite her over to our table?
You also notice, Lyra, that there's just a little bit of stubble just on one side.
Yes, I definitely think we should invite her to join us.
Okay.
You know, I always like to make new friends.
What mood is Lyra in today?
Lyra is actually quite unhappy today.
Winter?
Just quickly as a
What mood is Cedric in?
Cedric is in his usual chilled mood. I've swapped out. God, what have I swapped out now? Something for enhanceability.
Ah, okay. Detect poison and disease.
No, I think I still. I'm going to keep that just for a couple more days. I think just in
For the
case.
next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That is all.
Okay. You've noticed that they're now looking at you and talking and looking at you and talking.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just going to bide my time and daintily eat my porridge.
I'll go over to
Her.
Good morning, miss.
Oh, good morning, lady. How may I help you?
I was just wondering, you seem to be alone here. I was wondering if I could invite you to join us to share our morning meal.
That would be very nice. Thank you very much.
I'll sure I will sit with the rest.
You come over and you sit with the rest of the group.
My name is Selena. Who are all of you?
My name's Cedric.
Delighted to meet you.
I'm Kalatar. It's a pleasure.
Pasha.
My, what a big sword you have.
Yes, it's a family heirloom.
Hi, Fina.
I almost didn't see you behind the sword. Hello. You're not going to eat me, are you?
No,
Good.
I am hungry though. Apparently.
Don't worry, I think the delivery's just arrived.
And my name's Lyra.
Oh, how nice to meet you all.
What brings you out here?
I'm travelling. I left the capital just a few days ago, and I was considering setting off through the forest. With this talk of assassins, I'm a little worried about going on my own. Are you travelling as well?
We are.
That's why I was looking over. I hate to be forward, but I was wondering if you might allow me to accompany with you. You certainly look well prepared to handle any trouble that may appear.
I would like to perceive whether this lady is trustworthy or a threat is actually.
Make an insight check.
I'd like to see if she has any weapons or anything.
Make an insight check. Oh, a perception check. Looking for
9.
9. I can't get around to you. It's too far over. No.
You have to do it for the mic pick up anyway.
Doesn't seem to be a threat.
23.
23. She does have a dagger that is stowed at her hip. That is, whenever she moves in sort of a certain way, it does happen to catch on her cloak.
Let's see. It's not unreasonable. Well, which way are you heading?
I'm heading south.
How awfully convenient.
Indeed, we too are heading towards Andland.
This is the main road south.
Isn't it the crossroads?
It is it is the exact centre point of Alfheim that does have roads in all three directions. Northwest, northeast and south. But yes. It does have the main road south on it.
Thank you. I have a few belongings with me. I could be ready to leave as soon as you wish.
Well, we shall finish this wonderful breakfast and head off, I think.
What do you do for a living?
I'm a seamstress. I sew things.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
I have some quite old clothes now. Is there anything you can do to repair them?
Possibly.
I'll
I,
pull out
I
one of
don't
my
think-
slightly
I
more
don't-
ragged
Yep.
items. Could you fix this?
maybe when I return to my shop.
Where's your shop?
They said they're going to Anvil. I can't remember.
You said you were going to Adelaide.
Yeah.
All innocent questions.
In Anglang,
Oh,
I didn't bring all my things with me.
where have you just come from?
The capital. I was visiting some friends there.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Was it a special event?
We try to get together a few times a year, every few months. It's nice to stay in touch with friends.
It is.
Yes.
It's easier when they're all around you.
That's nice. You're friends. You're not merely allies of convenience.
For the most part, no.
Yeah, I'm just looking. Somebody was looking confused at that as well.
For the most part, we are friends, we're not allies of convenience. I assume that's what Cedric was trying to
Yes.
get at. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. That one. What you just said.
Whichever's the correct answer.
Insert word here.
Does your shop have a name?
It's just called Selena's Seams.
Oh, that's a
It's
good,
a good
name.
name. Well thought of.
Do you get much business?
Enough to get by. Antlag isn't the capital, but there are enough people there for a steady trade.
That's good. We have a house nearby, so maybe we can buy our clothes from you.
But that would be most delightful. I'm always glad to meet new customers.
We should probably go
Are you
there
still
first.
wearing the veil?
Yes.
No, I'm not, because you saw my stubble.
I
Plus
felt
it-
that way when it
Plus,
was
it would look a bit weird to be wearing the veil outside
Eating
the city.
porridge while wearing a veil.
just sort of sucky.
Just
Just a stain on it.
I mean, pull it forward, sure.
Straw?
Lift it up a little.
Yeah.
Just liquefy all your food with this and then drink it with a straw.
Let's put a hole in the veil. It's one of those wide lace holes that just put a straw through. Anyway.
Well, I guess we should get going then.
I suppose we should.
Certainly, I'm ready to depart.
You
I've got
must
my
know the best way there.
You just follow the road. It's not difficult.
There's no shortcuts.
Didn't we follow the road last time and get attacked there?
We
You got
usually
attacked.
get attacked.
We didn't get attacked.
Really?
You didn't get attacked when you were going towards Vidblan the first time.
It was between the
Just-
coast and the inn.
Yes.
It was in the.
Trouble
Right.
seems to find us.
There's
That's
always someone
Not good to know.
kind of always feels like someone's watching.
You and I both just look at a camera. Just sort of, they're always watching.
How much trouble do you normally find?
Oh,
Well, I've died 4 times.
I've been lucky.
You
I've
don't
only
look-
died once.
You don't look very dead.
Twice.
Huh? Are you having a joke with me?
No, what happens is they die, and then I've got magic hands that lets people come back from being dead.
Unless they're really, really dead and you're dead, in which case we have to ask other people to do it for us.
That hasn't happened that often. Only once that I know of.
So one time we were all really, really dead.
He was really dead.
I
He was
was-
dust.
I didn't even exist. But I got better again.
I see.
So I guess we're lucky.
Yes.
Have you died?
No.
I don't think a seamstress is a very dangerous job.
Also, there's
No.
Although
not
that-
so much a thing here in your Vic. They don't.
I
come
don't
back
know.
as
We've
much.
just been dealing with poison that, one little prick, even from a
Poison?
sewing machine that could definitely kill you.
Sewing machine.
It's
Magic.
pricking your finger on a spinning
Spindle.
wheel or
A
something.
spinning wheel,
Yeah.
yes.
Might cause you to fall asleep for a long
Next thing
time.
you know,
Or just die.
gone.
Terrible the way of the world at the minute. Anyway, let's be on our way.
Who would want to be a king? Let's go.
Let's say thank you to.
Very well.
Are you sure you want to come with us?
I think so, despite what you've been telling me. I'm still not sure if you're joking or not. You've evidently survived whatever has befallen you, and I could be waiting a while for another party. It seems I would be safer with you than on my own.
Reasonable. You say goodbye to the three brothers.
I mean, wave you off.
Just before we leave, I say, I don't have a story, but I do have a piece of advice.
Oh.
My great mama always said, that which is false troubles the heart, but truth brings joyous tranquility.
They nod. Sounds like elven bullshit.
Probably.
But we appreciate it. Thank you.
Sometimes it is bullshit, sometimes it's
Very
really
inspiring.
good inspiration.
Sometimes.
It's helped me get through some things.
I'm sure it has.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
I reckon your throat was as good as the inspiration.
Yeah.
So, you set off again. Make your way downtown.
Walking fast.
Faces pass.
Are we home now?
Almost. But you do eventually start to encroach upon Adeline.
While we're on the journey,
Yes.
out of sight of us on the road,
I
was
am
going
going
to
to ask
reveal
Athena.
myself.
I was going to ask Athena
Oh.
for George's spear out of her bag of holding.
Oh, yeah, sure. Pulls out the spear.
I'll take it. It's pretty, isn't it?
it's certainly distinctive.
Hmm.
Do you think we should sell it now that we don't know where George is?
Well, that's always an option. On the other hand, and I'll just jab the end of it into Selena's stomach.
Make an attack roll. Using your strength modifier. Because
Am I?
You
I
are
am
proficient in spears,
so
yeah.
18.
18. That hits, you're not wearing any armour.
What was that about?
Cut it out and just give him the spear.
Okay, yeah, letting that go. Alright.
Have the spear.
Cut what out?
I think what she's saying is that that's really George. Either that or she really wanted to give her some wood.
But George isn't a seamstress.
He's also not a woman.
That
Well, I do not know how you figured it out or where you went through such rigmarole at the end, but yes, it is I, George.
That just reminds me of like Blackadder. It
Yeah.
is me, the Scarlet Pimpernel.
it's so cheesy, but it's so
Yeah.
in character. It's brilliant.
Something you can't be irritated about because
Do
it's
you
done
have the
so.
list of my stuff?
I think he's got it.
Yeah, here you go. Starts throwing.
Thank you. I'll just go behind the tree and change. This-
I'm going to use primal awareness,
Mm-hmm.
which would tell me if there are any aberrations nearby.
Only what George is wearing.
We
George himself is not an aberration.
No, he is not.
Oh, I can't remember whether doppelgangers count.
Doppelgangers are monstrosities.
They would tell me if monstrosities are nearby as well.
There are not monstrosities nearby. There are none of your favoured enemies nearby. Within.
I like the idea that you think a doppelganger would drag up.
No, but a doppelganger could disguise themselves as George, and it's not like
And then
that's
drag
the
up.
first time that would have happened. But
I
that
just-
is an option.
I'll disappear behind a tree for a few minutes and re-emerge as George.
Hmm. Make a Constitution check just because it's cold.
This one could get you.
I hope I don't roll a natural one. I don't want any bits falling
It's
off.
fine, you're going to roll a 20.
No,
An 8 will do.
I still haven't rolled above a 10.
He hasn't, he's rolled like 13
Constitution saving throw, was that?
Just a con check.
Just a con check. Oh, it's the same anyway. That's 12.
12. You move quickly out of the bodice and everything else and put your armour back on. You're helpless by the fact that you've got your amulets that kind of protects you a little bit from the chill and the spear. You're not attuned. You're not.
Fire.
Does you're not attuned to the spear.
No, why not?
You've been away from it for 2 days. And it's been an extra plane pocket,
Okay.
but you can reattune to it. It's not beyond the wit of man.
Yeah.
This man, anyway.
Do I have to attune to the armour?
Do you still need to pretend to be someone?
You will do, yes.
Okay. Well, I can still wear it in the meantime.
Yeah. It just acts as normal armour. It doesn't
Yeah.
give you any +1 armour. I think it is.
Or do you think you're safe now?
Well, that depends on what the hell is going on. I heard I seem to be being set up and framed for a murder. It seemed best to leave.
We were there when the third assassin was questioned. He was hired by someone who gave their name as George Allmaster in Solrisa while we were on that continent. And he described you to the last detail.
I feel it's fair to mention that they didn't say that they told them that their name was. They found that out afterwards.
That's true.
But still, shifty.
So someone was impersonating me and set up an assassination attempt? That is strange.
Does this seem like news to him?
Make an insight check. Could be. You don't know. Hard to read.
When Journalist was first healed,
Hmm?
why? That's a silly question.
Did you
What's
really order the hit?
No.
Okay.
When we were in Solvisa, I barely even knew this place existed.
Why would someone set you up?
I'm not sure about that. They may just have wanted to divert attention from themselves and decided to impersonate me.
But at this point, we already had the assassins either killed or imprisoned. Why would they then try to direct attention towards you when they were just going to die anyway?
I'm guessing that dying was not part of their plan, but whoever hired them would, as insurance, not give their real name, would they?
True.
By the sound of it, they didn't give their name at all.
And yet they put your family crest on the hit order. That just seems sloppy.
That is unusual. It would be a little difficult to find the crest, but not impossible. Sailors come and go from the continents. Some may have served with my family.
I mean, there's always Brother Mask.
We all have magics which can make us look like other people.
Speak for yourself. I have nothing like
Some
that.
of us just have a disguise.
I just thought it was normal.
I thought Selena was rather fetching.
I'm not touching that one, is what I thought when I saw her.
I think Kellatar probably needs to make a deception check.
I mean, who's making an insight check on that one?
Got George will make an insight
I
check.
think
Sure.
George has an invested interest in knowing that.
Natural one!
Oh.
It rocked onto it as well.
Dunk.
He's like, yeah, 19. No.
It seems like he's just insulted your beauty.
Well, it's Kellatar.
Yeah.
I do not think that you could do any better.
I'm sure I could try, given some preparation, the right tools.
I could do it, and I will turn myself into what I presume would be the most beautiful human woman.
Sure, what does that look like? You say your wife.
No, if I'm going to think back to
Cedric's got a wife.
I think back to a moment that Kalatar or George were pouring over someone.
I mean, there's also when you were at the brothel.
I'm going to. Oh, no, sure. Sumera.
Okay. You
Looked
see,
like, I don't know whether I can't remember whether she was good looking or not. I
You-
presume fairly.
she was very pretty.
Okay, there we go.
This
She's got a bald like this though.
kind of kills it. This beautiful, fairly petite woman, about 5'4", stands
How
for.
do you change your height by a foot?
He can change it by 3 feet,
Oh, right.
as per the Furbolg racial ability.
Joyce.
About 5'4", long flowing brunette hair that sort of flows down to sort of the mid waist, wearing a very skimpy outfit because that's the only clothes that Cedric has seen her in. Really startling green eyes, sort of emerald colour.
Did I do better?
You've certainly done better than Kalatar.
Kalatar's just staring.
Beautiful, Cedric.
Thank you.
Just
But I
get-
think we might need Kelatar to be conscious.
What's wrong? Are you ill?
I think he's
Are you
rushing away
poisoned?
from his head.
No, I'm just. Excuse me one moment. I need to use the tree. And he wanders off, just behind a tree.
That's peculiar. I told the tree to take good care of him.
A leaf floats down from the tree.
Just a single tear.
Oh no.
Okay, well,
That is certainly a different look. That could be useful at some point.
I will keep it in mind. Just wait for him to crack it out in front of a king or someone.
Okay.
How do you propose to make this right? Huh?
Hey, what do you think?
Oh dear.
I'm going to spend the next hour in this form.
You do, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't want to waste a good ability.
You do get some odd looks by travellers passing in the other direction who are
Hello.
very surprised by that and the fact that you're wearing so little clothing and don't appear to be showing how cold it is.
That's some constitution and a half.
She just sort of walks through. They sort of do a double take.
Good day.
The man takes the woman by the shoulder and just sort of moves on faster.
The other way round.
No, the man takes the woman.
She's intimidated.
I'm going to wait for Kalatar to get back from behind the tree before
Nope.
moving
No,
on.
no. He does come back. You move on. So eventually you start encroaching upon the clearing that makes up Andlang.
Has it been an hour yet?
It has been an hour, yeah. It's sort of like by this
Just
point.
curious.
This point is about mid-afternoon-ish. This is the Forest of the Wood Elves. They are masters of carpentry and nature, building their homes from trees and forming that symbiotic relationship between with the world around them. Because these trees are mostly pine, it's interesting as you sort of walk into this area. You start to see particular groves of trees that are clustered quite tightly together. And every so often you see someone walking out from one of them. And then going back in. It's interesting. As you walk, you notice that there are a number of wood elves who are either tending gardens or sitting next to trees and chanting. You watch as the trees go from their upright forms and they sort of start to move and interlock with each other, forming this lattice work of branches and trees. It's not recognisable, but only if you sort of sit and watch long enough you notice things like bits of furniture and a wall start to appear. What do you guys want to do? Excuse me.
I need to find the key.
Are there guards, sort of officials?
Make a perception check.
10.
10. You look around.
2.
There are a couple of people wandering around that have swords attached to their sides. They look underused. Among anything else, they seem to be just there as a formality. Sort of wandering around wearing these sort of green tabards with brown leathers underneath.
I'll go to one of those.
Yes, miss.
Excuse me, I'm searching for Honest Pine Weaver.
Oh, yes, she's over there, currently making that... I want to say house? I'm not sure. You look over, you can see that there is an elf sat cross-legged in the snow, just sort of chanting and moving her arms around, just making them go together. Sort of average height, long chestnut brown hair, that sort of goes on the back, and you can sort of see that there are calluses on her finger from a distance. You sort of see her moving around. Every so often she does take a hand axe, sort of hack away at a smaller branch, and then uses it to sort of form something like a door handle. It's quite cool.
I'll look forward to finding out.
She's over there. Trudge
Hello
off.
there.
As you sort of walk past them, you kind of get the sense that that's the most excitement they've had for a good long time.
What, me going to speak?
Someone asking them a question, yeah. They don't. It's quite a peaceful city. Nothing really happens here.
For now.
Yeah.
And now we've arrived.
And now you've turned up.
Boredom.
with a criminal of the crown.
I don't know. Message hasn't reached this
I'm
far yet.
sure they're going to find out.
Mm.
Yes, could I have tried to disguise my spear with sort of a bundle on the end so it looks like I'm just carrying
A bindle.
a bindle on my shoulder?
Sure. Simple enough. May not pass over to much inspection, but
Yeah,
it'll do.
avoiding the obvious.
You make your way over to the elf, to Oris. She's there.
What time of day is it now?
For you, it's about mid-afternoon. Look up. Yeah, it's daytime.
Hello. Do I have the honour of addressing Honest Pine Weaver?
Yeah, you do. What can I help?
We were sent to find you by King Drenalis.
Ah, right. And she sort of stops what she's doing, turns around and looks at you for the first time. You guys are the Wandering Stars, right?
That would be us.
Apparently so.
Awesome. Yeah, I've got built your home. So if you want to... Do you mind if I just finish this? It'll take me 5 minutes and then
Certainly. Feel free.
plops
We'll
herself
have a
back,
look around.
plops herself back down and carries on weaving.
I will study what she's doing.
Okay.
I'm
Watch.
going to stick around and watch as well. This is
Okay.
interesting.
Yeah. You just watch it. It seems to be that she is conducting some sort of magical chant that is taking this together. Both of you make Arcana checks.
Oh boy, that's going to go great.
I know, right?
You know how good my rolls are. Oh,
Yay!
now I roll well.
Straight
I
roll.
was gonna say, if you got a natural 20 on this, it would be great. One again?
6.
6?
15.
15. You have heard of this method of construction before. You spent a bit of time with a priestess of Hecate when you were in Vectoram, who has talked about ways that things can be constructed using magic, using raw materials to interweave structures out of this raw material. And it seems to be that she is making some sort of house, or at least part of a house. It's very interesting to watch her work.
Fascinating. I don't do this in Vector because I don't have many trees down
No,
there.
but they do use stone.
Yeah.
She sort of brushes her hands off, stands up, and sort of rubs down the snow off her trousers. Alright, yeah, this way. Follow me. She leads you over to sort of the western side, where there is a series of pine trees, each about 20 foot in thickness of trunk, arranged into a vague triangular formation, that have been weaved together to form an exterior form. It's spread over 2 floors, but 3 of the trees in the corners do extend over another 30 feet or so above the top floor, narrowing up to their normal point as you would expect from a pine tree. The most intriguing feature is that the needles on the outside seem to have all bundled together to form a sort of natural cladding on the outside, so it just looks like a big green hide kind of thing. But you can obviously see the bits of wood that are poking out from the...
Not very good hide, is it?
But it smells nice though, all that pine scent.
She says, yeah, here you go. So this is the key. I can get more made if you need them. There's sort of like It looks like it is made of wood as well, which does seem impractical, but it's just sort of taking your fingers and bend it a little bit. It doesn't have much flex in it.
And where do we put the key?
Oh, right here. And she leads you to one of the tree trunks that is facing away from the lighthouse. And you just, here, guide your hand to the keyhole.
Yes. Put it in and turn.
Okay. Turn it. Door swings inwards. Well, enjoy. Let me know if you need anything, any furniture or anything. I can rustle something up.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's no worries. She wanders off. And as you open the door, there is an overwhelming pine smell.
Who could have known?
New car.
It does.
New car smell.
It does smell pretty good. You step in, and this is essentially the first tree trunk, 20 foot across, is hollowed out. There is a narrow barrier on the inside that seems to be insulated, but it sort of curves out before it sort of reaches the next floor. And then it expands out, and I can give you the layout of your home. So, the left-hand side is the ground floor. The yellow areas are the bedrooms. The orange area is a sort of just general living space. The grey on the right-hand side of the first floor, that's the kitchen. And then there's a cold storage room, which is the dark blue square. Top left, near the circle and the cross, that's a washroom, like downstairs loo. Upstairs there is a bigger bathroom for showers and such, which looks to be fed by rainwater.
Is that in the bottom left?
Is in the bottom left of the right-hand image.
Yeah.
And then there are 4 bedrooms upstairs, and the circle with an X is the staircase that spirals up. It does go the full way up, and there is actually a balcony on the very top of this house where there is rainwater being collected. And you can see that the branches are being interwoven into such a way that they actually act as gullies to collect rainwater to use in the shower. So you can convert these rooms as you wish. So the orange is a sort of a big living, like dining room lounge area, and then upstairs that sort of beigeish area that's just got little bits of furniture for people to sit and lounge in. It's got carved along the wood some bookshelves and different things for you to put stuff in.
Sorry, where's the door?
The door is at the bottom left. The sort of
Okay.
black lines there.
Yeah.
There are windows sort of dotted around and sort of the white lines in the green border. So that's the exterior wall.
Okay.
Nice.
So you can assign yourselves rooms as you so wish.
So we each get a room each, and the people that aren't here have to share.
So there are 5 bedrooms.
6 bedrooms. Downstairs there is a divider between those two
1,
rooms.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Two in the tree trunks upstairs,
Yeah.
2 up and 2 others in
I think-
sort of the general living area, and then there's 2 downstairs.
Sorry, how big are the squares in this?
5 foot.
5 foot.
No, sorry, they're 10 foot.
Oh, okay. I'll take a tree trunk.
Oh, a tree trunk.
Yeah.
If no one else minds.
So you say the door is away from the lighthouse. Is that lighthouse at Viblane?
No, the lighthouse and Lang. So there are 3 lighthouses,
South.
which is in the south. So if you think,
So that's kind of the north point.
uh,
If it's away from the...
kind of, yeah, if you think of it like that. So south is here, so it's northwest. So south, northwest corner.
Right, I will, if no one else minds, I will take the upstairs, the second story, the left-hand room, which I believe therefore will get morning sunlight.
If there was a sunrise.
There's sun.
There is
Surely.
sun.
I know there's like omnipresent light, but the sun still rises and sets.
Yes, it does.
So, yeah.
Especially kind of sunrise side.
Okay, fine. I'll take the other upstairs room. Bedroom.
I'll take that corner one then.
I'll tell you all.
Closest to Lyra.
To the bath,
the-
close to the bathroom.
Kafina and
Sure.
Kelatar downstairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is be alright with that?
Mm-hmm. Kavina's probably
Should
happy
have been
because
here then, shouldn't you, Jared?
she's probably happy with it because it means that she's got some
You know what?
workspace that she can just
I
go outside
realised
of it.
Cedric needs 2 rooms. Fee's gonna have to sleep outside.
Oh. Are you just gonna take that bottom room and just knock the door,
Yeah.
knock the walls down?
That's it.
Knock it through. Open the space. It's been a long work.
All right. No worries. So
Just realised if Fee gets bothered by Kelatar, she'll probably just make the nearest room.
yeah, or the balcony. Who knows? Keep yourself warm up there. So, spend a bit of time. Is there anything you want to do to your house to furnish it? There is some basic furniture there. There are beds and chairs, table. Obviously,
Crockery, that sort of thing.
there is a bit. There is some, not lots,
Enough to get by.
enough to get by. If you don't mind, it's like when you move in as a student, you've got 4 sets of things.
So you have to wash up.
You have to wash
everything
up-
every meal.
Yeah.
Cedric will
What prestidigitation.
Yeah, that too.
spend a little while druid crafting and seeing if you can get any flowers and or mushrooms to pop out
In his room?
in this
Or-
room.
Easily. They sort of seem to grow. Mushrooms are more prominent, but the flowers do seem to respond, particularly on the windowsills, where there is the light that you can sort of open the shutters. They all have blackout blinds, essentially, in here, so you're not dazzled. But you can open it and let the light in to essentially have a windowsill of different
that.
flowers. Whatever flowers you like. All of the flowers.
I'm going to reattune to my stuff.
I will also just take a short rest, I guess. We're just chilling out for a bit.
Yeah.
Get my
Everyone sort of settles in. After a short while spent in the home, there is a knock at the door.
Somebody. Double.
Who's closest to the door?
I'm upstairs.
If I open my window and look down, can I see who's at the door?
Yes, you can actually. You look down,
That's what I wanted.
and there is a halfling.
Hello.
sitting there. She looks up at you. Sort of a female halfling with a black tricorn hat, black leather armour, and brown boots. A light crossbow is slung over her back, and a light hammer is sort of tucked into her belt. She sort of locks eyes with you, sort of revealing her mischievous brown eyes as she sort of twirls a crossbow bolt in her hand. Behind her, there are 3 figures sort of in a loose circle. A female centaur with a Caucasian torso and white horse half. Platinum blonde hair sort of starred into 3 mohawks. 1 right down the middle, 2 down at the side. She holds a round shield and is leaning on a lance with a snowflake crossguard, just leaning in the snow, sort of waiting. She has a constant look of disapproval around her sort of violet eyes. And she looks like she should be cold because she has a comparative lack of clothing compared to everyone else, but doesn't seem to be bothered by it. A scowling human male wearing splint mail armour, blue eyes, clean shaven, red hair with a crew cut, hefting a great club over his shoulder, the pauldrons of his armour sort of a familiar looking owl. And a gnome with black hair with sort of streaks of white, despite her obvious youth, wearing a similar armour to, or similar apparatus to Kafina. Over a slightly burnt dark green shirt and brown leggings. She's got quite a cheeky smile, green eyes, apparently making a statement judged by the cloak that has been bundled on the ground behind her, despite the cold. And you do recognise these individuals as members of the Legion of Storms. The halfling sort of speaks up and says, "So, we hear you guys got into some shit.
I'm actually quite clean.
She looks taken aback by that.
We have a shower. I just used it earlier.
Okay. So are you guys going to come quietly, or are we going to have to make this awkward?" That's why we're going to take a break.
Oh, that didn't. I was like, what?
That's escalated quickly.
That did.
So, quick bathroom break. We will be back
I don't like
in
clean
15
people.
minutes, back at 9 o'clock. So we'll see you very shortly. Bye.
Nip slip.
Yeah, we're live.
And we're back.
There's about 5 seconds of you staring at the camera.
Now we know.
Someone gave me power and they shouldn't have done.
Now we know who's going to die first.
Real quick, let's switch to everyone on focus. Back to Luke. Back to everyone.
Hang on, just for the sake of this camera. You.
Yeah, because everyone, you just pointed at me.
If I just want to
Whenever normally you point at Ross, it's the flip side.
Yeah,
so
I know,
It looks
so it's-
like you're pointing at me.
So when I'm
It's like,
here,
stop being a dick. It's
Just
like
when I'm here, you.
Oh, you're not there. Hold on.
You.
You're pointing at Dom.
I mean, yeah,
Connor.
probably I'm going to die first.
How am I pointing at?
because he's lying to you and you're believing it.
No, you were pointing at Dom.
How am I pointing at Dom when I was pointing at Connor here? Anyway,
Let's go and get in a fight.
yeah. Bang. No.
Sorry,
Right.
I was wearing the t-shirt, but now I'm cold.
There you go.
Oh.
Anyway, cool. So, Cedric, you are there looking down on this group of 4 that's standing there. You also notice that there are... Yes, there's 4 of them there.
There's more of them.
One with 3 behind it.
You also notice that there are footprints that are sort of leading around the side of the house.
Because they're normally a group of 6 or 7.
6. We only want George, or Lee, whatever he's calling himself these days.
Why?
Can we all hear this?
Make a perception check.
So it's just someone's having an argument from the top window.
22?
13?
13.
You hear it.
Wow, someone's bellowing
look
in there
out
and
of my
outside.
bedroom.
No
You
idea.
look out your bedroom window. You look down. There is a half-orc wandering around there. Quite big muscles, dark green skin, and his black hair cut into the style of a samurai with a sort of top knot there. With plate armour, with a war pick and a flail, just sort of locked in behind his shoulder. Yeah.
Flailing.
Sort of looking around, just sort of keeping an eye out, looks up, spots you, nods. Waves.
He's a difficult man to find, isn't he?
Yeah, we know where he is. It's in here.
I'm glad Cedric's been practicing his lying.
Yeah,
Look.
you aced it earlier.
Look, we were hired to bring him back to Elendor so he can face trial, okay? If we don't succeed, they'll send the Drasmak over, and quite frankly, we're more motivated. There's a large bounty on his head, and you all owe us for humiliating us last year. Yeah, not showing up in Maymar for the Pananthenia.
They were dead at the time. I will actually say that.
Lyra, are you there? Lyra?
I'm
I don't
keeping
think
up.
I can see from where
The
I
half not from your window, no.
I'm currently in my room trying to realize like what orientation the bed should go so it's most comfortable in the light and there's imminent threat. Like,
It's just messing with your feng shui.
put your back into it.
Actually, well, your window's on the far side of the house in the corner of the tree.
Yeah, I literally couldn't be any further away.
Yeah, yours is well, along the sides. You can sort of lean down. You can see. You got the half orc underneath you, and then you got the others that are just sort of on the side. You can see the centaur. Oh, hello. Silence.
It's really just broke my immersion.
So
Sorry, I've not seen George.
deception check.
It's going to happen eventually. Wait,
Or that you would lie.
Yes.
Poker face him.
2.
I said poker face him!
I did!
Badly!
The only one that looks at you with any sort of
Natural
telling the
20.
truth. The only one that sort of looks at you like they understand it is the centaur, who kind of goes. The human looks. The human looks at it. No, he's fucking up there, right? Look, we just want to talk, alright?
We are doing that right now.
It's cold out here.
Did you say he's wanted in Theros?
Elendor.
In Elendor? Oh, right, yeah.
You should have worn more appropriate clothing then.
To be honest, I wasn't expecting it to be this cold. Or to be standing here this long. Thought we'd have dealt with it by now. Or you'd at least invite us in.
I don't really know what the rules are on inviting people into our new home. We've not discussed these things yet.
The halflings. Usually how it works is you just say, do come in. And then we come in.
I don't know whether we're allowing people to come in. It's quite new, and you might have dirty shoes.
We can take them off if you want us to.
Will you just give us...
Even the centaur?
All four of them. I've got a crowbar somewhere in here.
Just give me 20 minutes or so, and I will discuss it with the rest of the people.
Make a persuasion check.
What'd you go for 20 minutes?
11!
5. Otherwise we'll get someone to kick the door down. Diver's feeling real antsy. The centaur just nods.
What?
Starts stretching her back leg.
I will do my best, but...
Yeah, got that good kick in action. It's well oiled and ready to go.
It's kind of the centaur equivalent of a javelin thrower, so she has one hugely over muscled
Just one absolutely ripped quad.
Yeah, but she's also standing like a ballerina on the bar, just like leaning on her lance, just stretching it out.
I will try, but sometimes people waffle.
I'm beginning to get that impression, yes. Off you go, please.
Everyone meet downstairs.
Why?
We've got visitors.
We have some really rude guests outside.
I heard that.
Is it the elves? Because they seemed quite excited. It looked like us arriving was probably the most exciting thing that's happened for a long time.
It's not the elves.
Who is it?
It's the Storm Legion.
I don't quite recall. I mean, we thought the Legion of Storm
Yes.
was... Ah, the...
What's
The
the
Stormy
others doing
Legion.
here?
They're after you.
Me?
They've
No.
taken a bounty from Elendor for you.
Ah,
You are
shit.
so popular.
You're like wanted by all of
I
the
told them
kings.
you weren't here.
Did they say how much it was?
No, shall I go ask?
I have a brilliant idea.
We'll just
Badger?
pay them off. Yes! Badger away out!
No, Guntamir.
No, I'm with the badger. I
We can badger under and then summon Gundamir and go and make pastries for a couple.
What about Gundamir?
Bring Guntamir out. Guntamir can take George away. And then we invite them in. And ask the...
We also have the Rod.
Lewis, that is brilliant.
Rod, he could also go to a paradise for a couple of days.
I could also send him to the paradise, yes. I'd have to go with him, I think.
I think
I
just
like both
George
these
going
ideas.
is the best, because then we're here to be able to deal with them and maintain the fact that we haven't seen them.
Okay, well, you best do it quickly because we only have 5 minutes.
Well, Cedric has the ring now.
Yup.
Would you be so kind as to summon Gundamer and ask him to allow me to stay with him for a little while?
Well, inside the ring.
In his home in the elemental plane of air.
Right, yes. I will lick the ring.
What's your power word?
There is a word of power for it, which I've said several times.
Yeah, he's probably made up his own.
I
Yeah.
was saying, do I have to use
It
that
was
one or do I have to make
Kazam,
my own
wasn't it?
one?
You can do your own.
No,
Is
no,
it just a word of power just...
Yeah, that is it.
It's got to be the noise though.
And the slight spiral of wind just comes out and goes, Yoo-hoo! What's going to do for you? What's going to do for you?
Hello.
Oh, I'm bound to you now.
Yes.
Well, that is interesting. Why did you give me
Hello.
up?
I'm sorry. I wanted to give my friend Cedric
We're on a time
a
schedule.
wonderful gift, and I couldn't think of a better one.
Oh, you flatter me.
I know.
What can I do for you, sir?
Can you please take George somewhere?
Would you
He
like me
really
to-
wants to see your home and help you bake.
If that is alright with you, I need to get out of here for a little while and go somewhere where people cannot find me.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
But he was so for it.
persuasion with advantage. Come on, don't fuck me up this time. It's trying still to fuck me up. But with advantage, that is a 19.
19?
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's been most wonderful for you to take you home to my home. So there's not really anywhere for you to sleep, but I'm sure we could find something.
I'm sure we'll figure something out.
Oh.
Maybe go now.
How would we get him back?
So that is a good question.
I mean, we can summon you back tomorrow.
You can summon me back, but I can't bring him back.
Well, isn't it lucky I asked that question?
How?
I was waiting.
Why can you not bring him back?
Change of plan.
Well, not-
the staff.
All right. Click.
But Kalatar was our best talker. Also, his player's about to arrive. We'll all go.
Is Matt actually coming?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be really funny. Oh, by the way,
He said,
you're
free up
gone.
a seat for me. I'm on my way.
Let me just bring up the rod of security. It has been 10 days now, so
It's been way over 10 days.
Is it attunement? It is attunement.
I'm pretty sure it's attunement.
What, the rod? Yeah.
Yeah. Is it though?
Yeah.
To the magic items.
Yeah.
Should I go back out and see if we have half an hour? We're attuned to George.
No. Oh, I like the fact that Matt's going to arrive. He's just got to be with George in a paradise until he has to drive home again.
We're going to have a drag contest.
You what?
Is there no way for him to bring
to
him
do-
Oh,
back?
it is not.
people.
Sorry, it is not attunement.
Oh, there
Is
you
he
go.
not?
So you can just.
No.
make
That's
it.
strong for a non-attuner.
Yeah, but it takes 10 days
No, I'm
to
just.
recharge.
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, wow. I'm amazed.
How-
How do we get George
Kafina
back?
can send a message.
Go over planes.
Right. If I do not hear anything else, I will come back in 24 hours.
Oh,
He's
that's
gone.
out.
Good.
What is
We're
the what is your paradise?
Oh no!
This is not suitable for Twitch.
It's not suitable for anyone.
So many nipples.
Just nip
Yeah,
slips
it's
all over. That's why the command
It's-
word was nip
It's
slips.
paradise is George is covered in nipples.
Yeah.
No.
It's just a-
Yes, lots of
Big umpires.
lots of scantily clad ladies of all species, possibly with the exception of Goliath, because I know about that. That's
Yeah.
a bit uncomfortable. But it's not just all decadence. There is gym and exercise equipment and stuff, so I can keep myself fit and active.
It's right next to the chocolate fountain.
That's my
No
dream
chocolate
gym.
fountain.
What a better way to make you work out than looking at a better liquid chocolate just for this guy going out. I'm running, but I might as well not bother because
I'm gonna
my
go
face is going in that in 5 seconds.
Full dawn French.
With this being George, I'm imagining that there's like
Champagne tower.
No, it's like for it to motivate him. There's like a running track, but it's like a thing with for the greyhounds, except a woman sits on it. And just
Making poses every so often.
Fantastic.
Okay. Well, now I'm here. So I wanted to take you to see Elemental Plane of Air.
Oh yeah. Now we've got you here.
I mean, we do have a wish.
So I can grant some wishes.
I mean, wouldn't it be
I can
great
grant
if the
two of
Legion,
them.
That might be quite extreme.
what if the Legions of Storms just wasn't here anymore? What if they were just somewhere else?
Then someone else would probably turn up for the bounty.
Yeah, I mean, it would be funny though, wouldn't it? I mean, what if the Legion of Storms went to the Shadowfell?
Eh?
I'm going to open the door.
Okay. Halfling. Hi. Can I come in?
I don't know, I have to discuss this, we haven't really asked. Anyway, I was just making sure that you're actually there, because I didn't see you before, and Cedric's quite a good liar now, so I was just wondering if,
Yeah, not
you
so
know,
much.
I don't know, he got me a good one today. He told this really cool story that the food that we were eating in
She
the
pushes
palace
past you and
was
just walks
poison.
in.
in that minute though, that he was just but she was just rambling.
I was trying to buy
Going
time.
to turn to Lyra and say, well, first of all, actually, first I heard to Gundavir and say, "Can you make yourself look like people?"
That's a good question.
He could wish himself. Someone use a wish.
Come
on.
Wish on disguise self.
Yeah,
and then have
like,
himself
lame
put
it out.
away, and then will just poof and come back.
He will disappear within an hour, so if
Yes.
they can be gone within an hour.
Yes.
That is quite an interesting idea.
Yes.
I like it.
Can you turn into people?
Do you know what? I
Disguise yourself.
might be able to create a.
Major image.
Yes, you can create a major image.
Did you hear my plan?
No.
I was half listening.
Is that Gundamir makes himself look like George, and then they take Gundamir away. Then Gundamir disappears after an hour.
I see.
That's brilliant.
I cannot turn myself into a different person.
Oh, okay.
But I can create a major image.
How convincing will it be?
It's an illusion.
So as soon as someone touched it.
No, thank you. But just hang around because we might have something you can do in a bit.
Okay. So just
Make yourself
floats there.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Enjoy some food.
The wind around his mid. Excuse me. His midsection solidifies into legs,
That's
and he
haunting.
starts wandering around. Would you mind if I go to the kitchen?
No, help yourself.
And he wanders in. Oh, so many ingredients. The door closes behind him.
That's sorted. I mean, for an hour,
Yeah.
at least we can
Okay.
get good food.
Let's invite these people in.
No, they buzzed past me at that point, I think.
Yeah, at which point the halfling wanders in.
I'm sorry, we haven't met. My name's Lyra.
Bella.
Bella.
Bella, yes. Bella Wiseacre.
Charmed.
And to you as well. This is, she indicates to the human. This is Gildas. And the half-orc is Uta. And Diver is the centaur. I don't think you met Mihas yet. And Ella's the little gnome. So, she goes and...
Ella and Bella.
Yeah, it's confusing. It just happens. Sometimes when you put people together, can't control the names.
You
Like
could
Lyra
you
and
could
Ella.
change your name.
I could, but it's less interesting. We call her Badger, though.
Badger.
I'm really interested.
Because of the, white in her black hair.
Right. You could also call her Skunk. Got it in.
She doesn't smell. We're not mean. Anyway,
Anyway,
yes. She goes and
George,
sits.
You
Goes-
could also call her Penguin.
He's not here. Feel free to search the entire house.
Would you like a guide?
No, it's alright. Look. We know that you all disappeared for a while. Some of you, at least. At least 4 of you vanished. You were seen. So were you, nods at Kafina. Contrivance Union. Over with the Hunters. The Brotherhood of the Orionids. Could have reached out, told us what was happening. Where were you? Why didn't you come along to the...
I've never met you. I was not part of the Wandering Stars. I don't really approve of fighting for sport.
Fair enough, but you could have. Looks at Kafina. He's like, I don't know who you are either.
Yeah, she was being impersonated by a doppelganger when you met her.
Looks...
We have a very interesting life. we have no particular reason to reach out to you at all.
Yeah, I suppose when you put it like that, it's a fair point. But where were the rest of you?
They were dead.
I was dead.
Definitely dead.
George.
I was
I also died.
plane shift.
Why do you sound like Donald Trump?
Was that Donald Trump? Really?
Yeah, he sounded a little bit like.
Oh, French Donald Trump. Oh, oui, oui.
No, it wasn't even French.
No, that's what I was going for.
It was
Just Donald
like
Trump.
this.
I mean, if we learned anything, it's that you can't do French.
No,
Most certainly not.
I guess we're
it's not as bad as yours and Jared's attempts at doing different accents.
Yeah.
Wales always catches me, and then I end up.
Whales
just-
catch you
Yeah.
with their opposable thumb.
Yeah.
Big flippers. Anyway.
And then I end up basically doing a Gundamir.
Yeah. fine.
He comes back in.
Ooh,
Yes.
Welcome to the valleys.
I think it's a fresh beverage.
Here's some rabbit. No. I mean, I guess we've all had interesting lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not a competition.
But we would win.
No, the last time we had a competition, we won very clearly.
Yeah, but not before a couple of you fell down first. I mean, again, it's not a competition.
Yeah.
But we would win.
I mean, right now we would, yeah.
You can see she's just trying to keep her calm.
I mean, you're not here to kill us. We haven't got.
Please feel free to have a look round. See if you can find George somewhere. I
Can I
don't
get
know
you any
what
tea?
you're talking about. We haven't seen him for months.
Maybe you could tell
Make a
Asha.
deception check at that.
Maybe you could tell Asha where she should put her bed.
14.
14. Something tells me that you have seen him more recently than in the last few months.
I
I'm
mean,
not really under any obligation to tell you the truth. You're bounty hunters.
We
You
are.
have no official standing.
Oh, we have an
And
official
we're
standing.
quite good friends of the king of this land, so
Yes, I hear he's also on caution for murdering the king here as well.
George might be, but we're quite good friends of the king.
Oh no, I have no qualms with you guys.
and then get on with your search so we can continue with our day.
She looks over at two men and they just sort of go off and start having a look around.
Fee,
Yeah.
maybe we should send a message to Gerenilus. Let him know what's going on.
Okay. Should I go outside?
No. Yeah, and not too close to the centaur.
No, stand really, really
Might be a
close
bit
to them.
touchy.
Okay. Wanders outside.
Make way, she's dangerous.
I have no doubts.
Outside you there.
Please.
Just go out to nuclear wasteland outside. I accidentally cast a double
Is that
seven.
me or is that a comment? Oh no! Why did you cast it at 8th level, Fee?
That's 9.
And it's not just one comment.
No.
I'm aware it's like 12 or something.
3. Oh, it's 4.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
you're right.
20d6 fire, 20d6
Yeah.
bludgeon?
Yeah.
Just see it coming. I rage.
It's
I rage. I also pray.
it's what you use when you really don't like an entire city.
Well, you absolutely, positively have to get every motherfucker rid of me, except no substitutes.
Well, there's Storm of Vengeance, but... Storm of Vengeance is weird. Anyway.
As Kavina goes outside, she sort of sits there for a moment. You sort of see you look out the window as well. You can see the gnome sort of there talking to her. And she plods out, ignoring her because she's never met this gnome before. And the gnome looked quite hurt by the fact that she doesn't seem to remember her. Starts to cast, and then there's suddenly a knock at the door, and the centaur opens it, sticks her head in, and says, "Your halfling's turned to cloud." Closes the door.
Try again, Fee.
Oh, Fee.
We'll try again. She sends.
It
she
really
casts.
could have been worse, though.
Yeah.
Let's be brutally honest.
It might be about to be.
Cast a spell. There's a message that comes to you, Lyra. What am I supposed to be saying to him?
Just use a
Confused.
spell slot. She used a spell slot to then cast message.
Tell him that we have some bounty hunters here searching for Georges on behalf of Elendor. They've entered our new dwelling,
Okay.
being quite unpleasant.
Rude.
Bella says, "Oh, we're not being unpleasant.
It's subjective. I don't find-
Passive aggressive, sure,
I
but
don't find you very
rude.
pleasant.
well, I'm sorry to hear that." By that point, the other two come down. I'm going to roll again for Kavina to see. Yeah, no, cast it. They come back down. Nothing there. It's the half orc. Look, I just want to speak to him. Okay? I don't want to kill him or anything. I just want to talk to him.
Out of character, something?
Hmm?
We know that Georges Lee is part of the...
Today Conquest.
Yes. Do we know anything about the Shroud?
Nope.
Didn't think so.
The Veil, but no.
Veil.
He
Sounds-
specifically didn't tell you anything about that.
Is she telling the truth?
Insight check.
14. I will add my D10
Okay,
for the day.
here comes a 15.
16.
In your face!
Fucking 2 on the day.
She appears to be telling the truth.
Okay.
If you only want to speak to him, why bring all the
Muscle.
muscle? Yeah.
I mean, we're here on a bounty. I kind of need to at least make it look that there could be spies anywhere.
How good at you at finding spies?
Pretty good.
Have you ever thought that someone in your party could be a spy?
Not these guys.
You've never thought that?
No, we've never... Well, we thought it, but they aren't.
How close is she to any of us?
About...
Acquaintance, I'd probably say.
Physically.
I mean, she's in a chair in the room, so you could be as close as you want to be. So no more than 20 feet.
Keeping reasonable distance anyway.
I don't have any gold. I spent it all on armor. So.
Okay. Look. I just want to talk.
What
That's all.
about?
I need to discuss that with him. Sorry.
We could pass a message along.
If we ever do find him,
Yes.
I need to talk to him.
he's not here.
Well, we can. If we see him, we can tell him you want to talk.
Where can he
It's the
find
best
you?
we can do right now.
That's a good question.
We will, we'll sup at the Forester's Respite. It's on the other side of town.
Don't know when we might see him.
Could
That's
be
fine.
nice.
How long will you be there for?
Until we're certain that he's not here anymore.
Then what will you do?
Go somewhere else. Follow wherever it's suggested that we go.
Okay.
Which may involve following you guys. If only because you're our only lead. It's nothing personal.
No, it's not. You
nothing
probably
personal.
won't be allowed in and around the palace because, well, only we're allowed to do that. But it would look a bit suspicious if you went sneaking around.
We have our skills. At which point Gundamir comes through with a plate of cookies and just goes, "Yo, I've got some cookies for everyone."
Thank you,
Thank you,
Gondomir.
Gundamir.
Yeah, I've got enough. There's about 24 cookies on
Oh,
the tray.
Don't worry, they would just leave.
Oh, would you like a cookie to go? It's a way out. And he goes, "Sure."
They're not poisoned.
I'd be surprised if they were.
I wouldn't be.
Everything seems to be poison nowadays.
Takes a cookie, bites into it. Nice.
Drops that dead. Gundamir.
All along. Cooking check for Gondomir on how good his cookies were.
I know, right? Just, you're good. Cinnamon?
He wished for the best cookies.
There is just 6 really good cookies.
Oh, now I need to find out whether or not I can cast Wish again.
Gundamir turns to a vegetable in front of us all.
Well, hope to hear from you then.
You won't.
She wanders off. Leaving the other two.
We had the last one check to see that all of them leave.
Make a perception check.
Why'd you do that?
Gondomir, you said earlier you could do a major illusion. What
Yes.
does that look like?
Or, you know, it could be anything as you want it to be.
Could you make it look like George running out of the building?
Yeah, I could do.
We could.
I'm going to add my
Good
D10
prank
to that, just because I want it to be high.
You roll
One more?
One on that. That makes it an unnatural 20.
Unnatural 20, okay.
That's good.
The 5 that you've seen, gone.
I'm thinking that we have a copy of George run out the building and we can see how they react. If they shoot bows and arrow at him straight away, then obviously there's ill intent there.
Thing is, they, or at least I think, I get the impression she knows George, and George wouldn't just bolt out into
I mean,
the
we've
snow.
got Gundamir, we might as well use him. Gundamir, please can you send in a copy of George running out of the building, trying to look stealthy like he does?
Yeah, if you want to. You create this perfect image of George sort of standing there. Now,
Yes.
he runs off. Door's closed, so he just runs straight through the door. Gundamir just sort of
open the door
Yeah.
and watch what happens.
Yeah, he sort of runs around a bit, and you see Bella lift her crossbow up, take a shot, but as it goes, it splits into two, and looks like it's a bolo arrow. So it just fires out, and it looks like it's trying to wrap around his legs. It just passes straight through. He goes, looks back at the house. Nods appreciatively, turns around and walks off.
Well, that answers that question. They didn't try to kill him straight away.
If they've got a bounty, he might be worth more to them alive.
Maybe, but it's still a better sign.
It's worth noting.
Kafina comes back in at this point. Kind of cold, guys.
Sorry about that.
Been outside.
How did the messaging go?
Well, I did get hold of your analyst. He said, okay, thanks for letting me know.
To be honest, it was more to let them
It
know
was a
that
power
we were
play.
in contact. Yeah. Sorry.
I mean, how... Yeah, but how would they know that we actually got hold of him? We could have just said we were just contacting someone. I'm not that good at bluffing. Not as good as Cedric.
They seem to be very good at reading people, so I thought it was best if we were actually doing the thing.
Oh, okay.
I
They
wonder.
seem to have very good luck that way.
Yeah, weird. Also helps when I roll for 4 people at the same time.
I wonder if they're really confused because Cedric was a really bad liar, and they definitely thought that George was in the building, and then they searched the building, then he wasn't in the building.
Oh,
So
they
do-
definitely like.
Do they
spy.
now think that I'm an amazing liar?
It was a bluff. The
It
entire
It's a
time.
triple- I made it look like I was lying to let them in the building.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm gonna check my belt pouch.
Okay. Check your butt pouch. Everything's there.
Just I do remember Georges telling a story about an.
I've got
annoying
12 gold, but
who
is it?
nicked your
is it still there?
stuff.
Yeah, it's all there.
I don't have any money on me, so.
Yeah, that's all I've got left.
Weirdly, Lyra, your money's there. Cedric's is
No.
exactly the right amount for Cedric's money's gone. Well, that was quite good fun. I hope you enjoyed the cookies. Goodbye
They
now.
were lovely.
Bye.
He's gone.
What a great guy.
He is. Right. So
I love the idea. We've got a genie. We can use him to fuck with people, and also bake cookies.
I was gonna say we ever need a cook.
I was so hoping that you would send George there, and then spend the next 3 weeks trying to work out how to get him back.
Oh, I just suddenly spoke. I'm like,
really
how are we
fun
getting him
today.
back? And I'm just so glad I asked.
Wait,
spend 3 weeks.
How would we get back if we went over there to bake cookies?
does it have to be the person with the ring going there, or something?
You don't know.
Yeah, I'm really glad we didn't go because we would definitely have been stuck in the elemental plane of wind.
Go around the
That's it.
side.
Yeah, you know, with the big gate that's open. Read the chat.
3 weeks spent role playing, eating cookies.
Before a new campaign, you keep care of diabetes.
Eat cookies and survive.
Hey,
Kelatar, you're in the elemental plane of wind.
Well, we don't know how to get you back.
Sorry.
So enjoy sitting
Cool.
silently for the
No,
next
that's
hour.
fine. Yeah, you're in there on your own.
well, I might as
as
well sit
well.
next to you, Tom, rather than.
That's a good
No,
point.
you might as well just sit off camera.
Sorry,
It's like, you
my,
don't know what you're being.
Yeah, I was going to say.
no, that's
Turned up for no reason,
Yeah.
really. Sorry.
my brain is
Cool.
non-functional.
I think Jeannie said something about eating him.
So,
Eating him or eating with him.
inside the house, now that the Legion has left, what are you guys doing? I know what George is up to, but he's on the oldie cross trainer.
They were putting you with
If
you.
you like pina coladas.
You are with the rest of the party.
What he's got one of those rain shower things that you can just pull a cord and just rain comes down.
You don't have the
Rod.
rod. Thank you.
At the moment.
That's like
It's current-
staff. No, stick. No. What is it?
Wand.
Modern security.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
with George at the moment.
George has
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I'm off in
Well,
paradise.
we're kind of stuck here for a day, or at least we
Yes.
need to be back here in a day's time.
Agreed. Do we need to buy supplies or
I was
something?
thinking I might go round and have a look at the town and see what I can find.
I'll come with you.
House shopping, anyone?
Yeah, why not? Sure. See if we can.
What is in our rooms? It's just literally just a bed.
Bare bones, bed, bedside table,
Okay.
candle.
Cupboard in wardrobe. Sort of thing?
There is a storage space in there for you to hang up clothes, and there's also each wall has got engraved bookshelves or something engraved so you to put like shelves and stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, which of the downstairs bedrooms would you like, Kellet?
What have I got?
That one. What that one?
That's the front door.
No one wants to stay at the front door.
The black circle is the
Stairs.
stairs.
Right. It's probably easier if I'm
Oh,
right.
One for right.
That's the loop.
Yeah, that's yours.
That makes
Do what you like.
Probably makes sense if I'm near the front door because then I can just easily sneak in if I come out.
And not wake anyone else up as you come past.
Only fee.
Which one do you enjoy?
I was in the upstairs big one that Lyra's not in.
The right hand one. I'm in the left hand.
There you go. So, you guys head out. What are you looking to do in the town? Is it just the three of you going out?
Do you want to come shopping with us?
I mean, there's not much point in staying here. Kind of be on my own, so
I'm here.
He's here.
Which one did Matt
I might as well go.
have? Teletype?
The one closest. to
That's
the
fine.
Okay.
I'm just going to eat some cookies.
Fair enough.
I've got nutmeg in them. They're nice.
Nutmeg.
Mm.
Oh, and sorry. For some reason, my brain went to sandwich.
Oh.
And I thought, nutmeg in a sandwich? That's weird.
So, you head out. What are you guys looking for, if anything?
A sense of
Being.
reality.
Just to know what is there, what's around.
There is a farmer's market.
Yeah.
That seems to be a lot of fresh fruit and vegetables.
Yeah, I'll buy some fruit.
Yeah. You buy some
Particularly
fruit.
apples.
There are apples, yeah. It's odd to get apples at this
I was
time of year
gonna ask.
because it's
Yeah.
wintry. There appears to be all kinds of fruits. There's strawberries, which makes no sense whatsoever. But it looks like they've got something akin to greenhouses that they grow more tropical fruits into them. You also find that they've got this rather sort of a fist-sized humanoid fist rather than your
Human fist.
humanoid fist sized.
Human fist. A human fist sized human fist.
Sort of orange-skinned fruit, kind of similar to
An orange.
a mango. In the way that it feels in your hand, you sort of bite into it, and it's very, very sweet.
If I bought this item, sure can I find it?
I mean,
No.
something will come
Just put it back upside down so no one can see.
They give it to you to taste,
Thank you.
Could I have another one to taste?
and it's langda fruit.
Lander fruit.
Langda fruit.
Oh,
Not Lander fruit.
Was he served it by a bear by any chance?
Lander fruit tastes of honey.
is it really nice?
Yeah, it is actually. It's an interesting texture. It is textured like mango, but it's closer in taste. It's almost citrusy.
I will buy some apples and buy some Lander fruit.
There you go. Get some apples and some langda fruit.
How much does that cost him?
That costs him
$10.
5 silver.
Do I have that much money?
Yes, you have. Just let me.
There's all sorts of vegetables as well on the stalls. There's a few animals that are also there. A couple of sheep, just sort of sitting there. One goat that's sort of rather belligerently chewing out of the rope that's tied it in.
I'll just go hello to all the animals we walk by.
They're all called Wilfred.
They all look up and follow you. They nod. You're not sure whether it's because they've acknowledged you or because one sheep happened to do it and all the other sheep decided to do the same.
Are there any interesting shops?
There is actually.
Fruit's not interesting.
Of course.
There are. There's a bookshop. There's a general sort of druidic supplies. A lot of carpentry workshops for all your various needs. There is also what looks like a coffee shop where they seem to, yes, they grow coffee beans. Well, they do grow things like coffee beans and cocoa beans, and they make essentially hot chocolate and coffee that you can enjoy year round, which is very pleasant. There's also an apothecary, And yeah, that's about it. And the tavern that you see as well, the
Which is the
Forester's Respite.
right. That's where the others are staying.
Yes, a lot of houses shaped in this format. It's a very nice place.
Sounds it. I'd
I-
quite like to have a look in the butcher.
I could pretend to be George and then go into the Forester's Respite and see how they react.
Maybe tomorrow. Let's play this out as long as possible.
Okay.
Funnier that way. Lyra's developing a sense of humour.
I know. Ironically, she's getting it when she's in her bad mood.
Yeah, no.
Alright, you head into the bookshop. There is a relatively young looking elf sort of sat there. Looks like she would be, in equivalent human terms, about 18. Sort of sat there reading a book written in Elven, the title of which is The History of Kings.
It's interesting.
She looks up. She's got small gold-rimmed glasses. Looks up. Oh, hey.
Hello.
What can I do for you?
I just was thinking I might look around for a little while, if that's right.
Of course. Go ahead. Watch out for Chester.
Who's Chester?
He's my cat.
Cat.
Yes.
Does he not like people?
No, he's just skittish. If you know, he sometimes appears places. He has a tendency to vanish time to time. He's a shimmer cat. He does kind of occasionally disappear into the background. You can step on him.
Oh, he's invisible?
Occasionally.
Very
Okay.
careful not to do that.
I'd appreciate it. It's his own fault, really. He shouldn't sleep in the middle of the floor.
Well, maybe he'll learn.
Doubt it. He's a cat. You look up and you see that there's this sort of tabby cat sitting on top of one of the shelves with quite long pointed ears.
What was the name again, sorry?
Chester.
Chester.
Because it's a Cheshire cat, effectively.
That wasn't what I was going for, actually. But
I
no.
thought what you were going for.
Yeah.
Subliminal.
Mind making connections that don't exist. But sort of just sits up there looking at you.
Hello. How are you? Good. Is it warm up there? Good. Yes.
It jumps down and sits on your shoulder.
Engaged to a cat.
It just sort of jumps down onto your shoulder and just starts batting at one of the mushrooms that's there.
So just smiles, just standing there.
Climbs onto your head. Just sort of curls up and just goes to sleep on your head.
Make yourself comfortable.
Starts doing that cat thing, making biscuits on your head. Just
It's a really good like head massage going
Yeah.
on.
With claws.
With claws.
take 1 point of piercing damage.
You're allergic to cats.
Anything particular you're looking for?
Anything on Feywild?
Mhm.
Ancient elven families?
Okay. You look around. You do find that there is another copy of the History of Kings, which does talk about some of the longer lineages of elfin families, particularly ones that have been in Vidblane, ones that have been on Jorvik.
Alfheim
Yeah, Alfheim.
families.
Yes. Does have a quite detailed history about some of the lives that they've done, some of the deeds that have taken part at various points. It looks as if it's not recent. It looks like it's sort of the last. It's stopped about 100 years ago.
Right.
Because it's
So that's probably within the life of the last king.
yes, oh yeah, easily within the life of the last king. But it just doesn't. It sort of spans back about 8 generations, which for elves is a long time.
That is a long time.
It's quite interesting. There is a book on the Feywild as well, talking about it's mostly fairy stories that you find, talking about the Seelie Court and the Unseelie, 2 courts that are there. different myths and legends about Titania and Oberon.
I'll take both those.
Smiles. Those will be 15 gold for the two.
Very well. I shall do that.
Chester appears to have made a friend.
Very lovely cat.
And I need to add 2 books to my.
You do.
Okay.
Do you have any books on how to make alcoholic drinks?
Yeah, we do. We have a brewery instruction manual. Beginner or intermediate?
Beginner, please.
Okay. And she brings out essentially a brewing almanac.
How much is this?
That's 5 gold.
Do I have 5 gold?
Yes.
I will buy the book then, please.
You have the brewer's almanac.
Brews
Almanac.
Armagnac.
Almanac.
Almanac?
Almanac, that's the word.
Yeah, because Armagnac is a kind of brandy.
It is, yes.
I was thinking.
Words. It's been a long day.
5 gold. did you
Too much
say?
Almanac.
Yeah, I know, right? So,
5 gold.
5 gold, yes.
Did you say?
I thought it was going to be a wine day.
It's whiskey day.
It is.
You sort of start flicking through it, and it has the basics of the things you're going to need. You know, the terminal, the various bits and pieces you need to make alcoholic beverages, depending on what sort you want to make.
So, Cedric's goal is to try make a delicious drink he used to have when he was slightly younger. When he was
Fire
1-year-old.
whiskey.
Yeah, basically like a spiced apple cider,
Okay.
basically, which is good for wintry weather.
Okay. You can go around, you can certainly commission the various bits of woodwork that you need to do that. Get a crop of apples and all that to be made
Should
for
I have
you.
all the apples earlier.
That will cost you... Oh, you've got enough apples to make cider? Ooh.
Not a lot, just like,
A bottle.
yeah,
Okay.
enough to like share a cup with everyone.
Okay. You need to commission the bits to ferment and all the various bits and pieces to go together.
Sure.
That will cost you 40 gold for them to make those for you.
Do I have 40 gold?
Yes, you have 40 gold.
I'll buy all those items then, please.
Okay. They'll have them ready for you in a couple of days.
Cool.
So they have to actually physically make them. But they're very happy to do so. I look forward to hearing this. You can get the various spices from the apothecary as well. So that's 1 gold more. Sorry, Tom.
Do I have 1 more gold?
I'm trying to have my books.
How about goddamn books?
Can I buy anything
All it
else?
says is book, and then
And I would like to buy them individually.
Okay.
Can I buy 1 pencil?
Yep, that's 1 copper piece.
1 copper piece, please. Can I buy
Oh,
1 sheet
take
of
10
paper?
I think Tom
That's
would
the thing.
kill you if you could summon the energy.
No, it's
So
fine.
what was
No, but he
next?
could summon.
No, it was literally that. It was, what, 45 gold total?
45 gold total, yeah.
Well, I've been.
40 gold. If you did the 40 gold, then you're...
I've done the 40 and the 1, and
And
the
4
1
more.
copper, and
That'd be good.
That was it, then we're fine.
you have
Thank you.
245.49 gold. Books.
Anyone else?
I wish to go to a shop which can fully kit out our kitchen, like. Nice.
Yeah, there is a home goods store.
Yeah.
It's not so much... There is no porcelain plates. It is wooden. But
Yeah, it's
the way that they're crafted, it does appear that liquid does wash off them.
I want, yeah, so
Silverware,
nice
easily...
kitchen supplies, and then I want enough material to try and make like a really nice stew or something.
Okay.
Like a nice home cooked meal for once.
Sure. Getting the stuff to fit out your kitchen, I'll say maybe a thing for this. You're probably looking at cook's utensils and that sort of thing, plus a little bit more. I'll say all in 5 gold to get enough for a decent rabbit stew.
Sweet.
Yeah, get a few potatoes in there to
And
thicken
then
out.
Go back and like actually just
cook.
start cooking.
You make it.
I bet Gunderman left the kitchen tidy.
I bet he did. I bet it was better than when we got there.
Quite the opposite. He
It's
went in, there's a
flour
whirlwind
everywhere.
No,
Shit.
it is. He does at least clean up after himself.
As a good cook would.
So, you have some other things. Is there anything else that you guys want to do to deck out your living space? Chairs.
I'd like to speak to Cedric.
Okay.
Noticing that he's, or hearing that he's wanting to make his own cider.
Yes.
I didn't know you did that. Is that something you do often?
I don't know how.
Oh right.
It's something that
Interesting.
there used to be with my old tribe, and I miss it.
I see. I was wondering, have you ever heard of a drink called metheglin?
No.
No. Ah, it's a shame. Maybe I'll try and find some. Might be a bit
Would I
hard.
have ever heard of that? Would I have ever heard of that?
Make a history check.
Die.
8.
8? No, never heard of it.
Good.
Ah,
That's
I might try looking around for it.
Is it alcoholic?
It is, and it's from the Feywild, but
Oh.
like you, it's just something that reminds me of home.
What does it taste like?
It's quite hard to describe, but it's kind of spiced mead.
Sounds
but
delicious.
Also tastes of moonlight and cherry blossom.
Those are some interesting flavors.
It's
What does moonlight taste like?
like taste of moonlight, Cedric.
Does it not taste like something else?
Not really, no.
Okay.
I mean, you cast spells where you summon moonlight. I thought you knew what it was like.
I've never.
Can't
I've never-
you open your mouth.
I've never put my tongue in there, to be honest with you.
Really? You seem to lick everything.
Usually I. Yeah.
So wrong and right at the same time.
Usually I save the moonbeam to hurt other people, or
Well,
see if they're not really who they say they are.
That-
Which we should actually check George with when we get back.
that's certainly an idea. if he's been replaced by another doppelganger, that would.
Yes. In fact, we should probably just check everyone to be sure.
If you can persuade everyone that it's a good idea, then I will back you up.
Okay, I will try. But if they don't agree, then that might mean that they are a doppelganger.
Also, for the record, Kalatar, you did have George wandering around in drag for 2 days.
Naturally, cool.
I was Selena.
This seems.
He has lost his mustache. Asher still has hers, but George has lost his mustache.
I was going to cut it off, but then my best friend died.
Well,
This is the first time that has ever been known in recorded history of the ceremonial mustache. The mustache of remembrance.
I think it's at this point I say, keep it light, guys.
Well, George and Kelatar did get into an argument over who could do the best drag act.
And lost to Cedric.
And yeah, lost to Cedric, who just transformed himself into the whore he has
Ah,
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
He still has his voice.
Yeah.
do I look sexy to you?
yes.
But for the record, yes, she did look sexy to
for you,
Kelatar.
Oh,
He had to excuse himself.
For about 30 seconds.
that long? Wow.
Anyway,
It was quite difficult because of the voice.
so anything else you wish to do on this day, or? All right, you have a delicious home-cooked rabbit stew, potatoes, onions, carrots.
Who did the cooking?
Asher.
Oh.
Roll for me an intelligence check.
Intelligence?
Yeah, for
Or
cooking.
doom?
I thought that'd be survival.
Sure, survival. Why not? At disadvantage because you parted with the DM. No, I'm
Correct
kidding.
answer, DM.
I all die. Okay.
Okay.
8.
8.
It's alright. I
The
can
gravy?
detect if there's any poison.
Do you do that before you eat it?
I think I will, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm so paranoid with it.
It's not
Wait.
poisoned.
Wait.
Wait.
A D10. Use the boon.
It's a 10. I rolled a 2.
My God, no one's using the boon well today, guys.
Another 3.
Okay, you sit in, you tuck into the stew. The gravy is delicious. It's well spiced. It's full flavoured.
But not poisoned.
It's not poisoned. The potatoes and carrots are undercooked. The rabbit is tough and stringy.
You got to cook what you get with. It's not the finest.
It's okay.
It tastes all right.
Inside.
It's not the best, but
I
it
didn't
tastes
know
all right.
where I brought it from.
This is one of the best meals I've eaten in a while.
You know what to do.
18.
9.
I haven't cooked for a very long time, Cedric. But
Oh.
thank you very much for the compliment.
I thought it was the polite thing that you're meant to do.
It is. I believe you. Thank you very much.
Good.
I'll make sure to, cook for you every day.
Please do. It was delicious.
Mind you, this is the person that believed I was going to be taking Wilfred back before I learned out his name was Wilfred.
You were going to bring him back?
Yeah.
You were actually going to kill Wilfred.
But until I was told its name, yeah.
I like how we're so much more concerned about that than the possibility of George having murdered a couple of people.
Yeah.
And nearly killed a donkey.
We got our priorities straight.
Fictional donkey, so much more important. Donkey NPC over an actual PC. Great. All right. So, next day comes. Any mood change?
No.
Long rest is had. Time elapses for when George is due to come back.
Yeah, I'll come back 24 hours later as best I can judge.
Mm-hmm. And click back in.
Is it? Are people around?
Yeah, they're in the living room. Lyra's sat reading a book next to the fire.
You are dead. That's good. How did it go?
It was interesting.
Tell me more.
The leader of this group, the Legion of Storms, said she just wanted to talk to you.
Bella, would that be?
That is what she said. I got a bit confused because there was an Ella as well. It was all a bit. But yes, I think she said her name was Bella.
I would not trust any of them.
Didn't really, but we did a little test. Gundamir made an illusion of you leaving the house.
That was
And-
clever.
Bella took out her crossbow and shot it, but with a bolus shot that was designed to trip you and capture you rather than kill you.
So they're going to catch me for some other people to kill.
Well, apparently it is the bounty for the murder you're accused of in Elendor.
Yes, that was not me. I mean, technically it was me, but
No.
it was a standard duel. It was a standard duel. People normally do not die during those, but Lord Flamekeeper had been poisoned with oxycyanide, so my thrust. My thrust was responsible, but I was not the root cause.
Do you notice as you're sort of sat here that there is a bird sitting on the windowsill that takes off and just flies away?
Who notices that?
No one notices.
And now they know you're here.
Does it?
Pretty sure.
How can you be sure?
Are you there?
He is now.
Out now.
He's got to say something. He's driven all this way for half an hour of
Was it
D&D.
literally because you said all 5 of the ones you saw left,
Pretty much.
and there's 6.
Yeah.
One's a druid.
I wouldn't be surprised if they'd be here very soon. They're staying in the village. And the rod can't be used again for 10 days.
Yes, I think I shall be leaving. Would the rest of you be so kind as to come with me?
We will need to leave extremely quickly.
There is a quick flash, and suddenly in the middle of the room is Bella and Ella.
Oh, for fuck's
Spare
Really
points.
quickly.
Seems it is a little late to leave.
Put the hands up.
Hello
No.
again.
Just here to talk.
sake.
That's all.
First.
Hmm?
That'll be first.
We just wanted a few days off. Goodness sake.
What is it that you wish to talk about?
Washing up the
Actually,
kitchen,
no, washing up.
completely unaware.
Cleaning up after lunch.
Again!
I
Look.
could go upstairs, but I'm going to knock on the kitchen door on the way past. We've been invaded.
Again?
Yeah.
Come and talk alone.
Are you armed?
I can be unarmed.
So we can.
I think you can kill her anyway, but it might be better if she's unarmed.
Civil conversation? No
she's
arms?
probably tougher than she looks.
You have 2 arms. It's quite difficult to get rid of those.
Without our weapons, then. I will leave them here. If you will do the same.
Sure, you can talk upstairs and we'll all be downstairs.
Oh, hi.
I've
You've
just
turned
gone
up.
upstairs.
I've just come out of the kitchen.
Hair
up in a big bun.
Sorry?
I'm going to go and read in my room.
Okay.
As I know you can obviously transport by magical means, I think it would be rather foolish of me to let you get me alone somewhere.
Ella can transport my magical means. I can't.
That is what you say.
I mean, it's not my skill set. Make an insight check.
I didn't get a chance to say beforehand, but I got rid of Sleet Storm
Okay.
and I picked up Freedom of Movement.
Okay.
11.
Seems you're telling the truth. It's not her skill set to magical transportation.
Yeah, I still don't trust the bitch.
Can I go outside and see if the others have arrived?
Go out and have a look. They look like they're making their way, over. But not at pace. Sort of slowly walking over.
I'm gonna wait outside the front door
Okay.
and shut it.
Okay.
I would like to do a few things. I would firstly like to cast Detect Magic
Okay.
and see if there are any, I'm presuming there are, magical items, etc. on our 2 new guests.
Yeah, Ella has got the Mizim apparatus on
Yes.
them, which has got that sort of conjuration magic to it. Ella just has
Go around sniffing them.
magical weapon,
Okay,
magical boots.
okay.
That's
Don't
about
seem
it.
to be any other kind of necklaces or anything tricky which they might try be hiding. That's
No.
kind of what I'm trying to get.
She takes her dagger
Get to.
from the belt and just drops it to the floor.
As I'm walking around, I will stop by George and I will cast Freedom of Movement
Okay.
on him.
Okay.
Don't have Death Ward.
It's not
should.
not powerful enough.
No.
Not clericy enough.
Yes. Just so everyone's aware, touching a willing creature for the duration, target's movement is unaffected by difficult terrain, and spells and other magical effects can neither reduce the target speed nor cause the target to be paralysed or restrained. Also, the target can spend 5 feet of movement to automatically escape from non-magical restraints, such as manacles or creatures grappled. Finally, being underwater imposes no penalties on the target's movements or attacks.
But are you willing?
Tis and sis work.
Oh yeah, I'll trust Cedric.
Seems applied.
Are you satisfied? I am unarmed. I have my arms, but I don't have weapons. It makes you feel better. You can keep her hostage. Points at the gnomes.
Okay, I'm going to divest myself of most of my weapons. I'm going to try to hide a dagger.
Make a sleight of hand check.
Make a roll, I'm doomed. Oh, that's one of my best rolls of the night. That's a 19.
Bella looks and goes, "Come on."
It's the first time he's rolled above a 10.
I was gonna say.
Not quite second, but yeah. Very well. There's a room just here. Let's go.
Okay, which room are you going into? Kelatar's.
Kelatar's bedroom.
No, Kafina's.
Okay. You can step in there. Close the door.
No, I'm in the room with them already, so I can't be in my room.
Just imagine you two walking in there and Kelatar's. Don't mind me.
Ooh, it's story time.
Feel free to keep going.
It's like the awkward college dorm roommates, just like.
Yeah.
So,
This is unexpected. I wasn't expecting to run into you over here.
no, I was hoping I wouldn't have to use this particular skill set, but now we need to.
Are you here as bounty hunters, or are you here in another capacity as well?
Technically, yes, but we're here for another reason.
Enlighten me then.
She sighs and sits on the bed. I overheard a conversation within the Vale. It was between the leader, Keebler, and someone else, ordering a hit on you. Apparently, because you disappeared for a long time and they were hit by the Parthica Legion within a month or two after you were initiated, they assumed you'd spilled secrets and then gone into hiding, protected by the crown. Then you show up one day in Solrisa and they thought, well, maybe he's come to defend himself. And then you left to go to Jorvik. So they passed on your description to an envoy from Elendor who was aware of who you are. Really shouldn't have told Keebler your real name. That was a really dumb move.
To be honest, I'm surprised there is so much effort being made from Elendor. How much is the bounty, just out of interest?
About 5,000 gold.
That is impressive. I am rather flattered.
Anyway, they've now dispatched an Elendorian force to come and deal with you, supported by a pair called Darkness and Influence. Do you know anything about that?
Out of character, do I?
Make a history check.
No, then.
I don't know.
No.
Nope.
2.
Nothing means nothing to you.
Never heard of them.
We think it's to do with the Cult of the Void. We spoke to a dwarf called Nordak Eversharp. We were aiding him on his investigation into the cult. He gave us a list of names and the hierarchy of the cult that they took from someone who was in there before they died. When I heard what was going on, I made sure that we were recruited by the Elendorians. It seems that Lord Flamekeeper is rather pissed at you. Will not stop ranting about what happened. Apparently you defiled his sister, something like that.
And killed his relative.
That does tend to piss someone off. Anyway, the point is, we want to help clear your name.
Just
But-
out of the goodness of your heart?
Well, doesn't do to have rivals and such frequent sources of coin be undone. She juggles your coin pouch in her hand.
She got it again.
Yep. Hardly your past perception. She tosses it back to you. It's full. It's take it.
It's just empty.
She's added more coin into it.
Power play. Shooting a bug.
We don't believe that you did what they accused you of in Elendor or here in Vidblan. But we don't know how.
Was that by the effort of the Elendorians? Are they trying to free me here as well?
I don't know. Maybe? I don't know whether it's the Elendorians or whether that's the cult. I seem to have it out for you for some reason.
I'm not sure why they have it out for me in particular.
I have no idea.
How thin are the floors?
They're speaking in thieves' cants.
Are they?
Yeah.
They are now.
You say that.
Didn't need to, because they were the only ones that are having the conversation. So you can sort of hear occasional mumbles and odd random words like pina colada, bubble, Jiminook. not quite sure what's going on. But is there... Do you trust everyone in your group? It's the halfling, isn't it?
Her heart is in the right place. Her magic sometimes isn't.
Yeah, we have that with Ella as well. The amount of times I've woken up to a fireball. Twice. It's not fun.
Although I would like to trust Lyra, but she is also loyal to the king, and Asher, I believe, is going through some changes at the minute. So, let's say trust, but certain wariness.
That's fair. Do you want to involve them in this as a wider discussion? Have you had dealings with the Cult of the Void before?
Yes, we have.
You're not there. Oh,
No,
Yes,
we
it-
just have this feeling in the back of our minds. It's like, yes, we have had dealings with them.
It may be just to bring them in.
fine.
Just a little question before we do. Where was this feather being sent across to this continent with my code name on it?
She smiles. That is the trademark of Brother Quill. Or Agent Quill. Who I would assume, if you've got that, he's now dead.
How unfortunate for him.
He was also sent to kill you on your ship, but apparently did not do well.
A monster got him first. Not really his fault.
That really would have made his job a lot easier.
We saw the monster.
Eh. Oh well. Didn't like him that much anyway. He's a bit of a dick. Shall we,
Yes, let's get the others in. Let's go to the others.
Alright. Head back into the main living space. Oh, hello.
Carry on.
Drop.
Ignore me.
To which Bella nods at Ella, who goes out to the front door behind you, Asher.
Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hello.
Do you mind if we, can the rest of the guys come in? Please?
Turn around to the rest of them.
Yes, everybody, group meeting.
They're all welcome.
Do I hear this? Is it said loud?
You do, yes.
Yeah, if not, I'll come and get you.
I'll put my book down and come down.
You do notice that the centaur does wipe her hooves before she comes in.
Damn straight.
Is the ceiling high enough for her?
It is actually. It's pleasant. It is tall. It was obviously built with a very tall person in mind. So they have got 10-foot high ceilings and door frames. So it is easy enough for you guys to walk through.
Good.
She trots in and everyone else follows. They sit down. Bella takes sort of the armchair quite happily and sits there looking at you. Thank you.
By all means.
Thanks.
Make yourself comfortable.
I will. Thanks. So, yeah, I guess the best way to explain it is that Georges is being targeted by the Cult of the Void. For whatever reason. I don't know why.
Knew it wasn't him.
I'm not sure why they picking on me in particular. But it appears that is the case.
You come from a noble family?
Yes, but I'm one of the more minor members. I'm
But the
I'm not
family,
likely to inherit the power.
the family itself is well known.
Very.
Reasonably well known in Elendor and Leaf
Being
was
honest.
that area.
At the widest possible guess, you're the most well-known person among all of us. Also, you're the one who was wanted for a crime before any of this started.
I suppose that's very similitude to their attempts to frame me.
And we know that they have a doppelganger among their number.
Does that would make it easy to get poison and administer to their targets?
Yeah, Bella says, I'm not sure whether that one's involved. It doesn't seem like they're part... Look, let me show you the structure. She hands you.
Oh dear Lord! No, I've,
Holy shit.
I say, I've seen this sitting around, but I've never actually looked at it.
So if you look at it, the spiral form as it comes out, there is one central block with 8 around them, another 8 directly beneath them, as it appears, and then each of those has 3 lieutenants. So we've essentially got what we have the leader in the centre, and then they have their generals, then they have their second in commands, and then their lieutenants.
Are you aware of the leader's identity?
We're not, unfortunately.
Why are some names crossed out?
They're dead.
Oh,
So,
that'll do.
Alchemist was a chap called Rudolf Wensmay.
Mask is dead.
We believe so, yes.
That's interesting.
You do know the name Rudolf.
Yeah, it really picks up and I have no idea why.
That's
He's got a
because
red nose.
Was that the guy you killed in your first thing?
that was the guy in the first arc. That was the alchemist that had the
Oh,
Void
right,
Dragon.
him.
That's what's his name's dad.
Oh!
I wasn't there for that one.
I wasn't either, but I remember the
I've
name.
still got no idea what you're on about.
I missed the entirety of the first
When
arc,
they went
so-
into that room and then they basically just everyone
The
felt
rage
really,
peed venom. It was him that was making it.
Everyone felt really bad afterwards because
Oh,
they killed him.
He killed his dad and his daughter
Marlene.
Marlene.
Yeah.
Marlene's
Marlene's
dad.
dad.
I wasn't there for
You
that.
had the baby dragon there as well that was being
Yeah.
bled.
Baby dragon,
Get out.
He's died from some
Well,
heft.
don't
Take
you look
bloodshed
for rolling?
damage.
Let's see how good they are for throwing.
And who did they say was coming for us? Infiltrator and influence.
And darkness.
Darkness.
Influence and darkness.
They're like really close to the middle.
It's their forces. I don't think they directly would come
Oh,
here.
good.
It's likely they.
That's why I was looking at the
See,
middle. I was
this
like,
unlikely
Each
for...
of them has 4 subordinates by the look of it.
Do we know what their purpose is?
Essentially means 8 foes. Well, less than that if you are crossed out.
Well, they keep their foes. They're likely they've sent their lieutenants here, so we're probably dealing with Bloodline and Arcanist. The name rings a bell. You have come across
We've come
Arcanist
across
at
the
some
name
point.
Arcanist
So
before.
even
Were
I
they
remember
the
that.
one that raised the demon? Or did we kill that one?
You killed that one.
that was a void speak.
That, may
That was a
have
void
been-
speaker that summoned the
That
demon.
might even have been Void Speaker Delta.
Arcanist was mentioned in the letters
Yeah.
that you picked up in the Feywild that was being passed around by the Centaurs.
So
We've met
again.
so many of these people already.
Yep.
Forest Guard.
Wasn't there something about the other moving boulder as well?
Moonboulder and
Yes.
Scorchlord.
Yes. They're written on my sheet. My old sheet.
What was the name?
There's a lot of void speakers.
What? There's a Void Speaker in each
Group.
and they have designations and not names. There's someone here
But-
called Spore, which doesn't look good, Cedric.
Someone called what?
Spore. You remember Acrimony as well. That was in the letter that you found that was burnt partially when you were dealing with Mask. When you were at the village where Cedric's brother is.
What was the name of the beholder?
I know.
Ralacor
That'd be the one.
Yeah,
or
Yep.
Seer.
Seer.
Where's he fit on this?
Top left.
God, he's not even like any good in here, either. Don't worry, he only killed all of us.
And where
Well,
is
him
my
and
fucking
40.
brother?
I
Let's be
reckon
honest,
he'll
the
be-
kobolds weren't the ones doing them.
Walker,
he'll be
maybe?
Walker. I would have thought, given that he was quite close with, or seemed quite close with Seer.
What, you think all around war?
Salvager.
I think so.
Is he? Bloodline said.
Look at everyone going for the notes!
That might actually be
Okay.
good. It might be good for you, your camera actually. A bit closer.
They won't be able to see the names,
Yeah,
but
no. I was hoping they
we'll
would.
put this on Twitter. I mean, you can keep that one. I've got my own.
Oh yeah.
But we
This is the worst this guy probably uses Instagram. Influencer.
They've sent their second in command here, but we think they might be here by chance. We don't know who Alchemist is, and Bloodline's a mystery, unless it could be Lord Flamekeeper's son, Diggory? Seems unlikely. But it could be.
Wasn't that the guy? Was that the guy I killed, or was that the one that replaced him?
Diggory is the son.
Yeah.
So, you're saying that these people are looking for George,
Yeah.
and they're here to kill him. But you also say that they're here by chance. So they're not exactly kind of, how can I put it, great at looking for him.
Gildas at which point says, well, to be honest, it seems like you coordinated well, and it happened that there were people in the area. It looks like they've got people spread around. You happened to be coming here, so they picked the two that were most likely to be able to intervene. There are those spread out over plains and different continents. You think Forest Guard is in the Feywild, for example.
We
Makes
did
sense.
come across some people in the Feywild who had links.
Did we?
Yes, because we
Girls
found a
only
letter
mentioned.
mentioning some of these names among the bodies of some centaurs.
The girls
killed.
only mission.
When did this happen? I don't remember this.
Ah, yes.
Yes. Well
You
done.
were there, but
Well played.
Was I?
Well played.
Half it is. Half it going on.
Hmm.
This sounds quite bizarre.
If they are searching for me and we don't know their identities, that gives them something of an advantage.
It does. I should also say that I got a bad feeling on the ship when we sailed here. Those sailors were not human. No matter what they looked like, they felt fiendish. I'm a cleric of Athena, and I prayed to her. They're most likely devils, but no one seemed to notice.
So who's this talking?
This is Gildas, the buzz cut
Yeah.
human.
Oh, just the voices changed suddenly. It's like,
Yeah. So there's, at least we know that they're unlikely to set foot on Alfheim because of all the light and holiness. But that does mean that there's a boat of devils
yeah.
around.
What were they? Well, you know, if they didn't look like devils, what did they look like?
Humans. But it may be that they've got magic over them.
what was the name of the ship?
It was the Siren Ender.
Well played. Well played.
Name.
It was the.
We could simply avoid that ship.
Hey, that's
Well,
a
we
good
could-
interview technique.
We could alert journalists to investigate this.
You say that, Matt. Didn't want for you to.
I was gonna do it.
Brutal.
Sorry.
I mean, I don't even know if you used it.
You were
I
waiting
didn't
for it.
actually, I did it. I always did it at the end of an answer.
That works less well as an interview technique.
So basically, I'm really good for this job.
Have you ever heard of the Order of the Scorpion?
Bella said, yes, I have. Nasty bunch of assassins.
Yes, they're
Why
the
did you
one.
bring them up?
Though that is the name of the people who actually attacked us while you were off. Did we actually tell you about that?
No.
Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
I heard that you had been attacked, but that was
Yes.
just sort of on the grapevine, as it were.
We were attacked by 3 assassins in the grounds of the Palace of Alfheim.
Mm.
By,
Only 3?
Yes. they were,
Because that was a bad move.
they got the jump on us quite severely.
And they kind of appeared from
How
nowhere.
did they manage that? Cedric normally sees everything.
They were extraordinarily stealthy and were magic users to boot. We only really were alerted to their presence when they used magic to silence the whole area, which
Hmm.
made things very difficult for Kelatar and Athena,
Yes.
Briefly.
at least for a while. We fought them off, but because some of us were still suffering from the cyanide, not cyanide,
Cyanide.
oxycyanide, they were every hit they did was potentially fatal.
Ooh, I'm glad none of them were fatal.
I was just wondering.
Nearly was for.
It was them who had the note that said that is incriminating you.
Well,
Because that wasn't-
Order of the Scorpion, they might be under acrimony if they were using poisons, in which case maybe related to Dagger, some of their minions.
Possibly.
I mean, these are just the ones in command. They obviously are others below them.
Undergrowth might imply subversion, stealth.
Well, they did come out of a bush and 2 statues.
Yes, they did. I'm most worried by the name Arcanist.
How so?
One of the King's Council is a magician of some considerable power.
Oh, that bastard.
No, not that guy.
No.
Oh!
No, there is a guy he called Arcanist.
Mistress Shea Roywin is the mistress of the arcane to the king. She's the head of the Seda Alpha, the College of Magic in Louvain. She is extremely powerful, and I told her my greatest weakness in combat, which might have been a bad idea, but if she's actually involved with this group, then she probably already knows it. And we were wondering who gains from killing the king, especially as at the time Drelinus was probably thought to be dead, and we thought maybe it was one of these council members.
Where was Drelinus when the king died?
We were all in the Shadowfell.
Short trip.
We were having a great time.
I can imagine. That explains why we lost you for a while. Right, that makes
You
sense.
could have followed us there.
You're scrying on us, aren't you?
Not scrying. I'm just following you in our boat. Let's be honest. Here, you stand out.
That's fair enough.
I can't believe why.
I don't know why.
Looks at Kelatar and Cedric. I mean, don't get me wrong. We stand out as well and point at Utar and Diver. Sort of the centre on the orc, just look at each other and just go,
Blaine, I can nearly fly. Oh well.
clocks ahead of that. Is that an elven thing?
Yeah, sorry.
It's fine. So, I guess the question is, what do we want to do?
Eat, I'm hungry.
How can you be hungry? Just
We
make
just
it
had
up for
stew.
magnificent
lovely.
stew.
Oh yes. The
A
delicious,
lunchtime stew.
the delicious stew, how did I forget?
Yeah, I look under the table. It's just a pile of food from everyone.
So it just slides
You're
hands
onto
and
me.
poured into a bag of hot.
Oh no!
He's onto me,
Oh.
god damn it. It's stew.
So do you reckon that it's just these two, or do you reckon there's some underlings involved as well?
They've likely brought some underlings with them.
Do we know how we can find them?
Well, we know where the boat is. If we attacked the ship, we could draw them to us.
That would be a good start.
I don't think we
If
should really
they're
go
on the
around
ship.
attacking ships. Seems like a very bad idea considering one of my friends has already wanted.
It's one option.
I could disguise myself again.
I do think it would be a good idea. I mean, it seems like our most immediate problem might actually be the people coming from from Elendor.
Well, they're already here. They're part of the ship. There
So-
was the regular party that came with them, and then there's those. They travelled with them.
So darkness and influence are already here.
Not Darkness and Influence. They were the ones. They're the leaders. It's probably their Arcanist and Bloodline. But then they were. It's their forces that are supplementing the Elendorian party. I believe that Lord Flamekeeper is here.
Well, that could be interesting.
I mean, it's possible you could call him out and, I don't know, challenge him to a duel or something. I believe they're quite big on trial by combat here. Which, actually, you know. Yeah, they are.
Okay.
You've done it in front of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing.
Is that,
What?
It was pretty cool.
is that some things that could play to my strengths? It seems sensible. Seems like a sensible move would be to investigate the ship and make a decision if we'll Lord Flamekeeper is there. Can assess their forces.
Where is the ship? Is it at Viblane or?
No, it's not. It's docked. Well, they've set up port off Viblane, maybe a mile or offshore
They're at anchor
in the bay.
In the bay.
The Devils can't really get that close here, so it would make sense if they just sent the humans on a boat.
It's going to make it difficult to get close, though.
If you get me close enough, I can prove that they are.
I mean, we could swim.
Or we could ask Gundamir to help us.
We could, yes.
Tomorrow.
Gundamir?
Remember the
Gentleman who baked the
Oh,
cookies earlier.
him.
How were they?
Delicious. Really enjoyed them. Quite airy.
You got there literally half a second before I did. I would. Oh, he's got the joke already.
How many? I wonder how many people he can do that for at once.
What,
Well, he
make
baked-
cookies?
All of us.
Pretty quick on the draw.
Ross is having a roll initiative, Ross. Roll joke initiative.
I think it's 10 he can do, which isn't enough.
That's not enough for all of us.
I could make my own way there.
Likewise.
What spell are you thinking of?
I think he called it Wind Warp.
Or was it gaseous form?
It's not gaseous warp.
No?
It's Wind Warp.
I don't know.
I do know.
The elf that is with them, that has not introduced himself in any way, Mihas, who's a sort of wood elf, long blonde hair with sort of streaks of green towards the tip, has sort of piercing yellow eyes, and sort of seems like he's constantly in a shape of shifting. There's some fur keeps appearing on his forearms. You vaguely remember that he is lycanthrope, werewolf. He says, I can cast that as well, I think.
It's a way of getting over a large amount of space very quickly and
There is.
reasonably quietly.
The only trouble is the time it takes us to change back.
We could just go to the bay.
There's two other options.
Could be useful for scouting though.
I could do what I've done before, where I could make us breathe underwater.
I can do that too.
It's not a competition.
Or,
It's not, I'm just saying, if it
Shh,
can
we're
help.
listening to our cunning plan.
or I could.
Make an
Turn
intimidation.
into a badger and dig under the water.
Make an intimidation check.
Great magic.
I kid. The second one will
No.
make it more of a legit.
That's a brilliant plan. I'll use the frostbite to freeze the water and then you dig a
24.
tunnel.
24. He turns into a wolf and just sort of curls up.
Sit.
It's already killed it. It's lying down.
Or I could
Just sit up.
give us the ability to be able to walk across the water.
I would say, from our previous experience, I'd like not to be under the water too much, even if we can breathe it, because things under the water are dicks.
But then, it's true, they are. But then being able to walk on the water kind of ruins the element of surprise.
I don't know, I'd be quite surprised if an army ran over the water and take
We
the
do
Well,
it
there
every
is
night.
that.
There is
Yes,
12
but
of us.
There is also the possibility.
There would
You'd be
see
surprised
us.
when you first saw them, but then when as they took time getting closer, you'd be less surprised.
I would
every
still be
moment.
impressed, less
Over the course-
surprised.
Over the course of a mile, there would be a little.
ready to hit them when they got to you.
We could make our move at night.
We could.
It depends on how far out the boat is because it only lasts for an hour.
We could also take a smaller boat
What
in the
walk
night.
the walk?
Walking on the water.
I think we should just wind walk.
If
We
it's
wind
at
walk to the
night-
bay and then
If,
we
if
can...
these things are devils, would it being at night give any help?
There'd be
Is,
less
is there even
civilians.
nights where they're moored?
Well, they're far enough out that they're not affected by the lighthouse.
Yeah, the lighthouses point the light into Alfheim. There is outside of it, the bay's normal.
We could always invite them round for dinner.
It seems to
It
work.
would be very rude for them to.
with your cooking, we could give them a great meal.
Make a
Full of
sarcasm check.
shit.
I mean, it is Kelatar.
25.
So 16.
Ah.
That's what I know.
You have been sarcasmed.
I've been sassed.
You will get your revenge. He was kind to you earlier. He gave you his cloak.
Yeah.
And now he sasses you.
Oh, what?
To keep her warm while she
It's
slept.
really
Ah.
romantic. You're both naked. You offered the cloak.
Ah, fair enough. Yeah,
That's why you're missing 3 limbs.
Only one of them is your penis. Regenerate. No.
Raised dead.
Anyway, there you are, some options.
Yeah, we've.
First things first, if you don't bring Georges in, is that going to cause suspicion? Concern?
Concern, maybe. Suspicion, unlikely. They know that you're powerful. And if we've got enough going on, and or if George settles the debt that's caused the bounty on Lord Flamekeeper by a trial by combat as witnessed, as far as Elendorian law goes, it will be accepted, will it not?
Yes, is that good work? I'm just thinking that if we are to head back towards the capital, I may have to go into disguise again anyway, as I am still wanted there.
I mean, we could go, rather than going through the city, we could just go through the forest and hike that way and go off the cliffs
Straight to the ship?
if we wanted to.
Can demons swim?
I don't know.
I mean, also, if we're doing the flying thing, we could just go from here.
That too.
I say we just windwalk.
Need to find somewhere to hide for a minute. Well, technically, if we had water breathing, we could just float and go underneath the ship, I suppose.
And that lasts a whole day, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does.
That is a good plan. I like that.
We've had a bit of scheming time. You'll understand. We had a month. Thanks for that.
What time of day
Yo,
is this?
We
Afternoon.
We should acquire grapples and things before we go to allow us to climb up onto the ship easier.
That would make sense.
Diver just sort of looks around at herself because not sure. Not sure I can do that.
That's how
I-
strong your
I
arms are.
I have a potion of climbing, so that may be useful for you.
I can also lift you up.
It's a bit
Or
help.
if we have windwalk,
I'm part horse.
she at least
Does that stop you from being lifted up?
she at least could materialise straight on
He just
the deck.
looks at you.
I mean, I have wings.
She's looking at you challengingly. Make an athletics check.
Oh, I'm good.
So just show off the belt.
Do you even lift, bro?
23.
Puts her legs out instinctively. He's like, okay, fine.
Before I put it down, I rep it. 3. And then I put it.
You see the kicking leg just twitching.
Stand there going,
Oh! It's okay, little one. I'll help you.
She reaches for a weapon. We're here as friends. It is banter. You can get her later.
Don't worry, yes, we're all friends.
You can get her later. So, what are we?
Still bigger.
oh.
So, is that a plan then?
Yes, I am happy with that.
I'm sure it'll all go exactly.
It is either tackles
Every
this
time
now
does.
or allows them to come to us. I would rather take the fight to them.
Agreed.
Alright,
We can at least go have a look.
absolutely.
Scouting mission.
Ah, yes.
Is that
Yeah, yes. Scouting missions.
The last time we went on a scouting mission,
Yep,
we
we got
killed
a
an
parcel.
elephant. Just gonna scout
Oh no,
out.
slavers are happening. Let's kill them.
Yes. Is there somewhere in town where we could get grapples or climbing gear or something?
Yeah, they have climbing gear. They have a lot of tree surgeons, so they do have climbing gear.
Cool.
Mostly for climbing trees, but you know, Petons can work for getting it.
I mean,
Enough.
ships are just fancy trees.
They are just fancy trees. Enough ships you could buy. Enough ships you can make a tree. No, other way around. Enough trees you can make a ship.
How much each would it be?
If you're getting it for everyone getting their own, for a climber's kit
They don't just have a lot of tree
is
surgeons.
25 gold pieces each.
They have a lot of
I'm good.
tree
I've got wings.
hairdressers as well,
Yeah, you
so
can
that
buy.
they can touch up their roots.
I'm removing 25 gold from your gold, Cedric.
Okay.
Oh, I've found my old character sheet, and it turns out I already had 186 gold.
Oh, there you go. Anyone else buying climbers kits? Or just the two?
I would recommend everyone gets the climbers kits.
Asha can fly, so she's fine.
How much, sorry?
25 gold.
So I'm taking that off your gold, but I'm not. You
Can't
need
add your
to-
equipment. So,
Yeah. Thank you.
any other preparations you want to make before your mission?
Well, what time of day is it?
Late afternoon.
As we have to travel, it may be best to rest overnight and make a start in the morning.
Oh, you mean get an early night and go before twilight, before the sun rises, or go tomorrow evening?
I think the sooner the
Just
better.
tomorrow in the daytime. But yes,
I thought the point was we're going at night to be stealthy.
Or at daylight, in daylight when the devils will be at their weakest.
No, in the night. She's a good point.
I don't think. Cedric, make a religion check
Oh
For me.
boy, this will go great.
as the holy person. I'll say Kelatar, you can as well.
Nope.
I'm not holy enough. I'm
No.
a paladin.
No?
8.
Yeah.
13?
13. You do know that daylight doesn't strictly affect devils adversely. You fought them in daytime before. There's a big rainstorm, but they just seem to not like Alfheim. It might be because there's some divine aura that's keeping them away.
Shall we can't just turn the lighthouse on the
Just pivot it.
Who said we can't?
Alfheim.
That was out of character. So,
Alfheim says we can't.
I mean,
Please? No. Please?
Asher,
No.
Asher could just get the lighthouse.
Turn the whole thing.
While looking at the centaur while doing it.
sort of scratch it.
So any other plans any other things that you wish to gather at this point?
No, I just want to do it.
I'm going to give
Go.
the potion of climbing to the centaur.
Okay. She has it.
So,
No, wait,
what's a
we go.
breathing and then wind roll?
Oh wait, we're going to this evening
Right now.
because I don't have those spells available right now.
I don't have those spells. I need to wait until morning so I can properly focus.
So early night then and go before dawn.
Yeah.
That sounds
Just
happy.
the one.
Okay. So they go back to their hotel. The tavern. With a plan.
Why would I have those spells just ready? I'm just like giving options.
I don't know, you had detect poison.
Yeah, because we're in a realm where there was like disease and stuff. I wasn't even worried about the poison side of it.
So, with that, with alliances drawn up and a plan made, you guys take your night's rest, prepare your spells,
That's what I'm
and
tempted
that is
to
where
do.
we'll pick it up next week.
Please do, because it's going to take me a while to sort my spells out.
So, yeah, so that's that. That's interesting, guys. That's fun. There's been a lot of things that I've been sitting on with that. I was just thinking, when's the good moment to drop it in? That'll do. So much lore. So many things. So yes, thank you very much for joining us. We will pick that up next week and see where it's going. don't forget to check out at Eat Quit Survive and Eat Quit and Survive on our Facebook page, and also to check out our friends at Hellforge Props and at By Francita. So check those out, and thank you very much for joining us. Until then, survive until Friday. Good night.